Hey everybody, how you doing? Hey, this is Frostbite coming at you. One thing that I wanted to do was I got in a set of Mercury dimes, and I had never done Mercury dimes. Clearly, you can see my Mercury dime book is absolutely empty. But I wanted to kind of start one up, and just kind of wanted to spend a little bit of time with you guys, just see how things were going. As we get ready to turn from 2022 to 2023. Just talk a little bit about what's kind of happening with the last month in the channel, kind of where I plan to go for 2023. And again, this is one's just going to be pretty quick as I kind of go through these roles, but just kind of want to just generally talk to people, say hi, and see how things are going. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Now, I reached out to Profile Coins, and they sent me in a $5 thing of Mercury dimes. And the reason that I'm doing this is when I first started collecting coins and deciding that I was going to do stuff like this, I was talking to a family member, and one of her favorite all-time coins is the Mercury dime. And as I started going through this and saying that I was going to be putting a book together, and I was going to start looking at maybe putting a channel up and doing these kind of things, she's like, well, let me send you what I have. Let me just send you the coins that I have. And she was very particular about this coin. And this is the exact coin that she sent me. And I wanted to start, but what I wanted to do just to kind of honor that with her is I wanted to kind of show you this is a 1945 Philadelphia. It's got no mint mark there. And it's in pretty rough shape. It's seen better days. But this is going to be the first one that I put into my book. Okay. And I'm doing that for her. So if you're watching, again, I want you to be aware that I appreciate your support over the years in many things that have been done. And, thank you for sending me this coin. And that, again, that's the first one that's going to go in the book. So thank you for that. So I'm going to go ahead and go through these again. I'm not sure what all is in here. I haven't gone through this at all. I don't know what was sent. I don't know if they just, slapped out a number of coins. But you can see they're all Mercury dimes. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of be going through these, looking at where they fall in. Hopefully I can find a couple, key dates. I'm not expecting probably very little from the 20s or teens, if anything from the teens, simply because of the rarity of those. So I'm not expecting anything there. I'd be happy if I can get, 2 or 3 20s. If I get more, that's great. If not, then that's fine. But I'm expecting to probably fill up all the 40s and maybe a few 30s out of this pile. So, hey, John, how you doing? Mercury dimes, yeah. So what I'm doing is the person, one of the people who first started supporting me in collecting coins, the very first coin that she sent me was the 1945. And so I wanted to kind of throw that in there and just, kind of a special thanks to her. I've never done Mercury dimes before. So I reached out to one of my viewers and said, hey, I'm interested in buying a roll. And they just basically opened their silver bag, threw $5 worth of dimes in a wrap, and sent it to me. So this is what I'm going to be going through. I'm not sure what's in here, but we'll be finding out pretty soon. John, are you doing anything? Do you want to come online and chit chat? If you do, I'll send you the link. You're more than welcome to. So it's 35p. Yeah, here, let me send you the link. Just a sec. Go ahead and click on that and come on in. So this is 35, and I think I said this is Philly, but got distracted. So yeah, 35 Philly. And that is here. Okay. We'll see. John hopefully shows up in here pretty quickly. That's 37. Hey, Coin Junkie. How are you, sir? Oh, or ma'am, I'm sorry. I don't know. Oh, yeah. No, you're fine, John. That's cool. Appreciate it. Yeah, have a good one. Hey, Coin Junkie, how are you doing? You guys have any fun plans for this evening? Anything you guys do kind of history wise? You guys going to get together and oh, 28. I'm really happy with that. I wasn't expecting too many 20s. 28 Philadelphia. That's cool. And again, as you guys can see, I've never done anything with Merc dimes. I've been a lot of pennies and nickels. I got my Roosevelts and I got all my penny books and stuff here, but I just haven't done this, so I wanted to do this. Let's see what else we got in here. 41. So Coin Junkie, what's on your list for today? You got anything going on? 41 Philly. 175 million. It's a pretty common coin. 39. Let's see. We've got 39 Philly. 39 Philly comes in at 67.7 million. All right, 42. Can't tell. It looks like, yeah, it's just damage on the coin. Hoping it might be a die break or something, but it doesn't appear to be. Let's see. Yeah, that's just damage to the coin. 42, 205 million. Just a couple of those out there. Nothing major. 1930. Okay, so that's another 30s. Again, another Philly. Now, the people that I got this from, I'm not exactly sure where they're housed out of. So I'm not sure if I'm going to see more Phillies. I'm expecting to see more Phillies. 36. It's 87.5 million. 41. And I already have a 41, so I need to look at these ones and see which one's better. I'll set that off to the side just to make sure, because I'll be going through and seeing which ones are the better ones. Another 41. Hopefully this is... Bands are much better looking than that other one were. I think that will be probably the one that goes in the book. Oh, 28. This one has definitely got some damage on it. But again, can't complain. I don't have any of them, so any of them is a good thing to have. So 28 is good. Let's see, I got another 28 here. That one's definitely in better shape. And there's 19.5 million on that 20. 27. I must have seen more 20s than I expected. 27 on this one is 28.1 million. So from what I understand, and again, I don't know a lot about these coins. This is something that I want to be learning. The ones you want to be looking for is like, obviously, the 16D. That's a huge one that I am very familiar with. I believe the 19D. Was it the 19D? And then was it the 28D? I think was the other one. 43. It's 191 million. I think those are the three that I remember being fairly key dates. John or Coin Junkie, if you guys know any of those dates off the top of your head, fire it off to me and let me know. I'll double check that here in just a minute. Again, another 41. And I expected there be a lot of 40s in this. I'm actually surprised that I've already had 3 20s. I wasn't expecting a whole lot of 20s. I figured this would primarily be, wow, there's another one. Hey, Paul, how are you doing, bud? Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you dialing in here. If any of you guys want to join the chat and just chit chat, let me know and I'll throw you the link there in chat and you can pop in and we can visit. This is kind of an impromptu. I wasn't expecting this roll to come in. Doing really well, man. Anytime you can get coins, it's a good day. You know what I mean? So, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. Another 41. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but just never got around to actually purchasing it or picking up any of these coins. So 44, I got 44. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm going to stick all the 40s here and I'll be going back through. So anything that I put in here, if one of these is nicer, then I'll be replacing it later, but I'm not going to do that right now. So you have any fun plans tonight, Paul? Oh, another 20. And I do have a 27, but this is Philly. All right, and I do have another 27, so I'll be checking that one out here in a second. 35. I'll admit Mark. Hey, Hector, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for joining in, popping in and saying howdy. Appreciate that. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody has some good plans for tonight. Already forgot what I was doing. Got busy yapping. 35. Already have 35, so we'll set that up here. And again, if anybody wants to come on in and join me in chat, please feel free. Holler at me, let me know, and I'll throw that link into chat, and you can come on in and say hi. So we got 39. I already got 39, so we'll throw that there. That's good. Yeah, we're not going to go out. Talk to my wife. The kids they all have plans. They're going to go out and go downtown, check out some stuff, and I'm like, we'll probably be in bed by 10. Hopefully not that early, but it is what it is. But it's amazing. Used to, being a kid, man, I'd be out there forever, hanging out, partying, doing stuff. I just don't have it in me anymore. I mean, I can do it every once in a while, but yeah, I just can't do that all the time. 35, already have a 35. Again, hey, thanks for everybody for coming in, saying hi. I appreciate it. 1926. I do not have that one yet. We got a Philly, so that's cool. 32.2 million on that coin. So Hector, Paul, John, if either one of you guys know any place to get rolls of these or to get small bags of these, let me know. Ooh, that's a D. Outstanding. That's my first. Denver 37. Hey, Kay. Hey, thanks for popping in. How are you? So, I don't know. You guys caught the first of this. But I was saying that there was a lady who kind of got me into wanting to put this together, and she just dialed in. So that's Kay. Wanted to say thanks, and I wanted to just point this coin out right here. If you see that, that is a 1945. These are all marked dimes, by the way. That's a 45, so hopefully that one looks familiar to you. People talk about why we get into the hobby and why we do certain things. And outside of, hey, Geraldine, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. Uh, thank you for subbing. I appreciate you throwing the sub out the other day. Thanks for coming in and stopping by. Um, talking about kind of why we do certain things within the hobby. You know, I liked Mercury dimes. I just never paid attention to them. And when uh, when Kay told me that I was doing this, or when I told Kay that I was doing this, she's like, "Well, let me send you a couple coins." And one of them was a Mercury dime, and she she was very adamant about, take care of that. And I told her I was going to put it in a book, and that's kind of what stemmed me to do this. And so I was like, well, I might as well invest a little bit of time and energy and finally put this thing together. So, huge, uh, huge kudos to her for getting me. Ooh, that is a 39S. Outstanding. That's my first S mark for a 39. Where are you? 10.5 million. Beautiful. Okay, so I have one D and one S. But anyway, so Kay, huge kudos to you. Thanks for doing this. I'm actually glad you popped in and you see this, and you can see that I'm a man of my word, and there's the coin. Now, if I find a nicer 45, then it may go back in a roll. But no, I'm just joshing with you. I appreciate you being interested in the hobby and supporting me there. So Geraldine, what do you got going on? You got anything going on tonight? You got any fun plans? And again, if anybody wants to come on and chit chat, uh, there's only a few people online, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this up in here. If you want to pop in and say hi and chit chat with me live, stream with me live, then please feel free to do so. Um, all I ask is keep it clean, watch the language. Let's keep this community and let's have fun with it. But if you guys want to plug on in, please pop on in, say hi. 45. I think I already have a 45. Oh yeah, of course I have a 45. Yeah, that one's still better. So I'm about halfway through this stack. Another 44. Nope, this is just a regular 44. Pizza and TV countdown. I think I have a little bit of lag in my chat. I apologize. I'm sure that's probably been there for a bit, but that sounds like fun. Yeah, we don't plan on doing anything. I talked to my wife earlier and said, hey, you want to do something, but just just not interested in it. So we're going to kind of stay home, kick back, relax, uh, eat, and we'll see. So that is a 40 Denver. Again, this is my second Denver. That's outstanding. So 40D, 21.2 million. So Hector, melt a roll of Mercury's is 86 bucks. AU rolls go for 249, circulated about 145. Yeah, I paid about 130, 125 for this roll. So a pretty decent deal on it. Uh, there's a couple coals in here that are just absolutely trash, like this one right here. Um, right? I mean, it's just, but it's expected. Um, I'd like to find, um, I'd like to find some better ones, but I didn't expect I'd find too much here. Um, but I'm pretty happy with what I'm finding right now. 34, 34, 24.1 million. What do you mean, Priv? Hector, I'm not tracking that one. Oh, nice price. I think that's what you meant. Yeah, I was pretty happy with the score. It's a 44D. 44D outstanding. It's just a couple of those at 62.2 million. Yeah, I was pretty happy with that price. I'm going to be looking to get a couple more. And again, if anybody on here has a good line to those, holler at me, let me know, and we can kind of chat about that offline, because I'm definitely going to be looking at getting some more. Yeah, okay, that's funny. didn't I never paid attention to them as a kid, and we started talking about these, and I can't remember who I was talking with. That they were saying, I think it was Jay of JB Coins, and he was saying something. Uh, we got another estimate mark. That is a 40, ooh, 43, 43S, 60.4 million outstanding. So kind of what I'm expecting is most of the 40s. I am in Texas. Okay. Um, yeah, I wish that I could have been a little younger and known. I mean, but when you talk about back in the 40s and 50s, when the Mercury dimes spend value was about $1.50 in today's value, it's hard for kids to want to hold on to these. And so they got spent just like everything else. But yeah, I really like these. They're fun to look at. There's a lot of good information um, about these. Like I said, I just hadn't really dealt with them and done anything with it. So, hey, Hector, what part of Texas were you in? I'm down near San Antonio. 42D. I don't think I have this one. I do not have that one outstanding. And that puts me at that's 60.7 million on that particular coin. Fort Worth. Yeah, that's about 4 hours. Well, it depends on how fast you drive. It takes me about 4.5 hours to get to Fort Worth. Um, I think it's technically a 5-hour drive. Yeah, Paul, I'm the same way. I started about 15 years ago. Um, and then now I guess it's been about 16 or so years ago. And then had kids. And that really just kind of put a damper on collecting. It was just one of those things where I just couldn't afford. And then, you have, as the kids grow up, 44D. I already have 44D. I think that one's in better shape. So I'll have to watch that one. Um, they start to get older and then they have all these functions and everything. And uh, it's amazing when you talk about kids' sports, how much that stuff costs. And then I've got uh, I've got a daughter who is absolutely skilled in things like music and art and things of that nature. So art supplies and instruments and everything else was just like, man, I can't keep up. And now that she's getting older and she already has a lot of that stuff, I'm slowly starting to get back into it. And that's kind of the reason that I started up this channel, which was uh, we don't really have a good coin community here. And let me rephrase that. There may be a good community here, but I don't know how to plug into it. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to find a good place to link in and share information and connect with people of like mind, like hobbies. I want to learn, but I also want to work with people on, you know, finding things and solutions and stuff like that. So that's kind of the purpose of what I want to do for this coming year is just really try to find ways to engage people and do that. So Hector said that he was in retail for 25 years. When you're counting money, depositing money, yeah, 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 that's right. So ironically, I worked at a convenience store while I was going to college, and I still have some of my old bills because you'd see like silver certificates come through, or you'd find the red certificates, the red notes, or you'd see star notes, or you'd find silver quarters or stuff people would throw change on, and they just make a kind of a weird sound, and that's kind of what got me started into it. But what really kind of set me off for coins and the love of coins and looking at coins was um, finding coins that were 100 years old when I was born. And I talked to a lot of different collectors and people who are enthusiasts, and they all basically said the same thing, which was um, that was kind of one of the reasons that they kind of got started. Okay, so I have gone through this roll. That's all I have for right now. So I'll kind of go through and tell you kind of what I found. So I found a 25 Philadelphia, 25.6 thousand or 25.6 million, excuse me, a 26, which would have been really nice if it would have been the D. I think the D and the S, I think the S is semi key because it's only 1.5 million. But anyway, happy with the 26, 27P, 28P, 30P, 34, 35, 36. On the 37, I found the 37, 37D. On the 39, I just found the 39 and 39S. 40, that one's kind of hammered, but I found the 40, 40D. 41, Philadelphia. 42, 42D. 43 and 43S. 44, 40, and then the 45, which came in from K, which she had to bounce. She had to take off. But I appreciate you people stopping in, even if it's for a moment, just to say hi and see how things are going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically go through this. But what I wanted to do is I kind of just want to talk to you guys about where I want the channel to go in and kind of get your guys' feedback. Yeah, see, Hector, I wish that I still had contacts in that realm. Lived in a bunch of different places over the years. Been here in Texas for about the last, maybe 15 or so, and really never connected to companies that have, like convenience stores and things like that. And now that I'm kind of getting back into the coin hobby, it's like I need to reestablish all these relationships that I should have been maintaining over the years. And convenience store owners and clerks, grocery store people at the customer service desk, or the people that handle the cash. Um, bank tellers. I mean, bank tellers are huge, right? You get people that are online with you that are willing to do stuff like that, and that's just it's amazing. So I'm having to reestablish some of those relationships, but the community that I found here on YouTube has been stellar. I really enjoy talking with a bunch of people, looking at some of these channels. Uh, there's so much good content, and what I'm trying to do is surround myself with people who love the hobby. And you're gonna find all kinds. You're gonna find people that are here uh, to just turn a profit. You're gonna find some people that they want to build a name for themselves. You're gonna find people that they want to grow. They want to do something different. It's here for a season and then they're gone. But I'm in it for community. I'm in it because I want to have people of the like mind and share information with people. I want to find people with common interests and hobbies that you know. I mean, when you get older, you have friends. My friends are spread all over the country, right? And they're the kind of friends where I don't talk to them for 6 or 7 months, and then we pick up the telephone call, and it's like we never missed a beat. It's just the same old, same old. But I don't have that in this hobby. When I lived in the West, uh, you know, Colorado, Utah, Idaho, that kind of region, I had a few friends that I did this with, but I've lost touch with them over the years. So I'm having to start all over, and it's going to, yeah. Hey, hold on, Hector. Let me fire that in. Marty is nuts. Hey, thanks for popping in. I appreciate you popping in. Yeah, Hector, I just threw that link in there. Come on up. I'm going to add you to the stream. You are there.
Hello.
How's it going, brother?
Man, it's not bad. You have the same when I started 4 years ago on YouTube. Uh, I started collecting as a Boy Scout, trying to get my merit badge for coin collecting. And there wasn't many people. There was a lot of older adults at the time I was collecting back when I was 13. And as I got older, it seemed like people lost interest, and for about 20 years, the hobby really went down. And my dad started me off, and then his dad started him. And you're hitting the right spot. You'll have to go through a lot of trial and errors with people, because sometimes the channel, some people are just interested in making money, and sometimes it leads in the wrong direction. But after a while, you'll start picking up on people that are into the value of conversation and knowledge.
Yeah, and so there've been a few people that I have talked with that have pulled me aside and said, "Hey, what's your intent? What do you want to do? What is your goal for the hobby?"
Hmm.
And so we've had some really good conversations, and I'm not gonna drop names on that front,
Yeah.
um, but it's been really cool. I've had people with extremely well established um, channels say,
Hmm.
"Hey, call me and let's chat. Let's talk about this. What are you trying to do with your channel? What's your goal?" And I find that so refreshing to be able to go. These people have the same mindset that I do. These people, and I think that one's going to be replaced. These are the people that I want to connect with, and I've had people already, and I mean I've only been doing this for a very short time. Go, hey, you know what? I want to pair with you, and let's do this. We're going to be giving away. What do you got? It's like, well, hold on, just a second. I'm new. I can give stuff away, but that can't be the premise of my channel because I want people to understand content. I need people to know who I am and what I'm about. I can't just. I don't want 1,000 subscribers where 950 of them are only there for stuff. I want people that share like minds with me. And there's going to be those people that come and go from your channel, and that's cool. I mean, that's the way this works. But I'm in this for community. I'm in this for building relationship. I'm in this to, give people ideas. My counterfeiting series that I'm working on right now. Why am I doing this? Well, because, it's an important thing, but man, I fell victim to it. I thought I was fairly decent, very smart about this. And, but hey, I make mistakes. But what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to just kind of hide everything and go, I can't tell anybody I made a mistake. They won't watch me. It's quite the opposite. You know, we stumble, we fall. We all make mistakes. We're all human. But what I wanted people to understand is, hey, I learned something from this experience. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Let me share that with you. Let me share you what I've learned. Let me share you what I've figured out. Let me share you uh, what information I've been able to pick up from this, because that's how we grow as people. That's how we get smarter. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I have a good time with it.
That's that's what it was like. There are a few channels that like right now, I'll tell you privately, that are really good channels to get knowledge. And a lot of times I've gone to private sessions, and there'll be four or five of us just talking about numismatic value, you know, die deterioration, machine doubling, whatever the topic is. It's in depth, and it's also um, you know in a friendly manner, because you'll get some people out there that are they're in for the market.
Yeah, and for me, I'm kind of into a whole bunch of stuff. Hey, Ernest, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. We appreciate you.
Well,
Don't forget you come in.
that's why I chose my name the way it is. It's supposed to be Hester's Interest and in Coins, and I wasn't paying attention to how I'd started the channel, and I forgot one word, but I left it as it is because so many people, were saying, "Oh, you're interested in coins." I said, "No, I'm interested and in coins," but I just left a letter out or a symbol out because I'm into astronomy and I'm a teacher, so a lot of things I like to. There isn't a subject I don't like in school. So a lot of the
Well,
subjects.
let me stop you real quick and
Sure.
say thank you. Right? That in sometimes can be a very thankless job. We do not pay our teachers enough. We do not support them. It's too often that our kids, hey, Philip, thanks for popping in. I didn't catch you on the other side. But we don't focus on our teachers like we used to. We look at teachers like glorified babysitters, and I whenever I have a lot of friends that are teachers, and
Mhm.
the stuff that they have to contend with, yeah, I mean, it's nuts. So my hat's off to you, brother. I
Well, thank
appreciate
you.
you doing that, and I don't care what anybody says. It is absolutely a noble profession. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I have to admit that when COVID hit and we went to remote learning, and the parents started doing their lessons with the kids, and they had three different personalities. I had parents, online saying, I don't know how you guys do this. I have three kids, these are my kids, these are my rules. And how do you do with 30 kids in the classroom? I said, you only have one set and you enforce them and you modify their behavior by giving rewards long term, not short term, not like a party every hour. Is okay, we got to work the whole week before we get to the certain point, and that's the rewards. But I was hoping that the COVID would sharpen people's appreciation of teachers in other states, because in California, I mean, for me, I'm pretty happy with what we get paid, but now we have a lot of parent influence, and I don't say in the negative way. I would say more of unexpressed views of what the classroom is not like, and they take a lot of their experiences from their childhood, good or bad, and they place it on the teacher. And that's their biggest complaint right now is that I see from teachers.
Yeah, well, and I'm not going to get into the politics of
Oh
teaching and
no, there's no.
parenting because I'll tell you, uh, sometimes I'm that parent.
And you know something? This is my philosophy. If I'm right, you better be in the classroom. If I'm wrong, you better be in the classroom. I welcome it.
Yeah.
But some in teaching kids how to read and learn, I use coins sometimes in the classroom.
Well, yeah, it just makes sense.
No, God, no pun intended, right?
Oh
Um,
man, that's one thing. I don't know if you guys have all looked at the channel, um, really kind of looked at it. I love stupid humor. I love dad jokes, and so yeah, I'm going to post content about uh, counterfeit coins and how to do little useful tips and stuff like that. But I am going to be putting jokes up there because you never know until you experience something, the power of laughter,
right.
right? Just changing, and I don't care. There are people that I work with, and I work around the hospital setting, and I see there when I walk down the hall, I either see one of two things. I either see people smile or I see people grab their head and groan and go, okay, here comes another one. And sometimes they chuckle just because it's the polite thing to do.
Hmm.
But there's nothing better than hearing my joke for the day from somebody else because it means that it's impacted someone else's day. And if you can get somebody for just a moment to laugh, to smile, that has a huge impact on the potential of somebody's day. I've had people pull me aside. I had my boss pull me aside for something that was I I wasn't sure if I was going to get in trouble or not. And he said, somebody came and talked to me about a joke you told him. And I was like, uh-oh. I said, I only tell clean jokes. I shouldn't be getting in trouble. And he's like, no, 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 no. He said, they wanted to let me know that you're always kind of one of these people who changes morale. You always try to do things positive, and they wanted me to just make sure I was aware of it. And I was like, I don't tell jokes because I want people to notice me. I tell jokes because I want people to smile. Uh, we live in such a tumultuous, chaotic world that I want to give you 30 seconds of something stupid to think about. I want you to joke. You know what I mean? So,
Well, my dad was in ICU for 3 months, and I was in the waiting room because there were certain procedures that they told me to step outside. And when he got back, I went back to his room. And you'd be surprised how many families they're in there. Like in where my dad was at was a regional center for burn victims, shootings, really uh, catastrophic injuries and car accidents,
yeah.
other shootings, other typical shootings, in this area. And you'd be surprised just handing someone a tissue when they're having their first roundabout, not knowing what's happening to their loved one after they moved them up from ER. Uh, Even a small gesture like that, you'd be surprised how many people open up and start talking. You know.
Yeah. Well, my jokes a couple of years ago, oh, I shouldn't say a couple of years ago. So it was probably maybe about 5 years ago. My wife and I do triathlons. And so one of the uh, agencies we always raise money for is
Mhm.
St. Jude's. Um, we'll do races, we'll do fundraisers for them, and um, it's kind of been our place of choice.
Mhm.
Um, and so I was offered one time to do storytelling, where you basically just get on like a Teams or a Zoom call, and there's a couple kids there, and you just basically read them a short story, and they make it as fun as you can, make it whatever you want to do. It's just if you want to do this. And so I had the opportunity to do that. And as we were doing it, the kids, I couldn't believe the smiles from these kids that were going through these cancer treatments and just how positive they were. And you hear stories and there's a lot of jokes about it too. Peter Dinklage, I think, is one of the guys that talked about this. If not, there's another comic, and I can't remember his name, that talks about going in and the kid looking at him and saying, "Oh, don't worry, they can fix you here." And it's just one of those things where the positivity that generates from those kids, it's infectious. And I only got to do it a couple times, but man, it'll be something that's forever ingrained in my memory just because it was such a cool thing. So, Mike Panucci, hey brother, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you coming in.
Hey,
How
Mike.
how you doing? I hope you have some good New Year's plans.
I got a quick story about numismatic value. I had to cover another class, and it was a special needs class. And I walked in the door and I told them what the assignment was because the teacher had gone home sick or had an emergency. And they said, "Can you cover the last hour of the day?" And I was going to go home as soon as that day was over. And I said, I really wanted to go home. I said, "We really need you because we don't have anybody else to cover the class." And I kind of figured, oh, okay, I will. So I walk in the door, give them the assignment. They're all chitter chattering away, and I said, "Okay, guys, that's enough. Get to work." And I said, if you guys continue and like turn your work in by the end of the period, then I'll keep you 1 minute after the bell. And boy, that was enough to go, I don't want to do that, and complaining. So they got their work done. And one child who didn't want to cooperate pulled out his money and he was counting it. And then I heard that special ring, that sound that silver makes
Yep.
on the desk, and I knew it was a quarter just by the sound of it. And I told his name. I said, "Hey, what are you doing with the quarter out? You need to put it away. Put your money away. Did you finish your assignment?" No, no. He was 15 years old, and I looked at it and said, "You know what this?" And I changed the subject. He's already upset about something, and he shows me the quarter. It's a 1954 Philadelphia, and I put it on my phone. I looked it up, and I said, "Oh, melt value is $3, and its condition is probably worth just a little bit over, you know, 25 cents because it's pretty worn out. But the metal content, so we're talking about silver and the copper it's in it." And he said, "Just in the quarter, you know, all this stuff." I said, "Well, you know, after a few years, you kind of take it." I said, "What are you counting your money for?" And he goes, "Oh, I'll have to buy milk, and I wanted to see if I had enough money for a gallon of milk." I said, "Wait a minute, you're 15 and you're a dad?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "How old's your child?" He says, 18 months. And I said, "You know, if you sold that for $3, you could probably buy a gallon and a half." At the time, milk was cheaper then. Um, and he came back the next day because I got assignment at the same school, and he saw me and he ran across and he showed me a whole roll of quarters in his hand, and all of them were all silver. And I told him, "You have $120 right there." So sometimes in that connection, just talking, he told his other friends, and those friends started bringing me, "Well, how much is this worth?" You know, dollar bills, even Susan B. Anthony's. And it was kind of funny that just one subject kind of got him to reading. And the funny thing is that you don't know what turns a kid on to want to read or learn something.
Yeah, and see, so you said something else that's really important to me about um, sharing this stuff with kids, right? And that's we need to maintain integrity in this hobby. And what I mean by that, and I'm done with the coins, so I put the best ones in the book. But what I mean by that is, it's really easy to look at, kid playing with a couple silver coins and go, "Hey, I'll give you $1 for those." Um, but I think we owe it to people to let them know what they have. Now, I will say, if they know what they have and they want to sell it to you for stupid cheap, more power to you. Right? I mean, if they want to get rid of it, that's what they want to do, then that's fine. But I think in this hobby, we need to make sure that we share information. Hey, just stack it. Thank you for popping in, brother. It's good to see you here. We appreciate you stopping by. Um, yeah, Gleason Perry. Uh, hey, Perry, did you get that 64 um, uh, proof set? Did you get that in yet? I set that off. Yeah, hopefully you got that thing already. Yeah, I was on with Mike and those guys, and Perry won a drawing, and so I was hoping that he got that 64. What was it? What's it called? The Kennedy accented hair.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this up real quick. Let me see if I can switch my cameras. Hey, there you go. Now I'll kind of look at and chat at you. Excuse the mess. Excuse the room. It's a mess. Um, uh, yeah, SMS set. Thank you, Ernest. Not the proof set, the SMS set. Um, but yeah. So anyway, that was pretty cool. But yeah. Anyway, when you're looking at this hobby, I think that one of the things, and I found for the most part, it's not an issue, but making sure that we hold our integrity and making sure that we, we have. the opportunity, let's use that word, to kind of really just work with people and talk with people and say, hey, this is what this is what it's about. Um, I'm not, and I've said this in other streams and stuff. I'm not an expert in anything numismatics. I am a hobbyist. I enjoy it. I like stacking silver, constitutional stacker, salivate metals. Some of those guys have really kind of, been really great to me and said, hey, go check out this dude's channel. Here's some information. This is what you want to look for. Talking with people like, just Stack It's here, and kind of watching his stream, watching what's going on. Mike, man, Mike P, he's the bomb. Great heart, really in it to just share his love of his hobby and getting those comics out there and showing what he enjoys doing and just really making sure people know what it is. Another thing that I collect is gemstones. So, will I put any of that on here? Maybe, maybe not. Just kind of depends on what people's interests are. But I like the community, right? And I think that, this thing right here, you guys seen the video for, putting this thing together. This is a $25 coin scope, and you just put it on an old light boom, right? It increases the range of motion, made it much more usable. So why not share these kind of things with people, right? There's a lot of people here that monitor these channels so that they've got good money, they've got good stuff coming up, and but there's a lot of us that just don't have it. And so how do we find good things? What sources do we have that have potential to help people out? There's one of my viewers, and I will give stuff away from time to time. It's not something I'll do all the time, simply because I just don't have an inventory basically to give away. But what I do like to do is I like to share information on things, not just that I find are cool, but if somebody calls me and says, or somebody messages me and says, hey, I'm interested in this coin, or, hey, talk to me about, shut that one off. Talk to me about, how to do something like this, for instance. I don't know. And there was one of the ladies on my channel, her name's Annette. And she was just like, well, it's really cool. I would love to be able to look at these things, but I don't have a coin scope. So I sent her one. It wasn't a giveaway. It wasn't something like that. It's just being polite, being kind. And that's the person that I want to be. Will I give stuff away on the channels? Yeah. Will I be giving stuff away in live streams, like working with Mike, Just Stack It, whether I'm working with Found It Buried, right? George, I love that dude. He's funny as hell. Makes me laugh.
I think that's where I met you.
Huh?
I think that's where I met you.
Probably, chat. Right? But there's so many people that are they're in this hobby because they enjoy it. They're in it because they want friends and stuff. And so I kind of navigate to that kind of stuff. And that's what I want to do in 2023. That's the kind of direction that I want to go in. Is I want people to say, and Perry said something about liking my nickel video. The Hanning nickel amazes me, right? This is a nickel. I mean, that thing.
Well, it's
right?
just like,
why in the world would you choose this to counterfeit, of all things? And then to kind of look at the history and look at it and go, he counterfeited $5 bills and was immediately busted by the FBI. I mean, they didn't take any time to find him. And his counterfeits were good. But spending 3 years in prison, he had already calculated, people probably won't even pay attention to an old beat up nickel. And the thought process behind it, and looking at what he had to do, and he invested something like $6,700 or $6,800. Now we're talking 30s, right? We're talking 30s, 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a ton of money that he invested into this to get all the materials, to make sure he had all the stuff together, to get the right planchets together, to get the press, to do his design. He had to put his little calling card in there, right? Which is, I'll share a photo here in just a second, if I can get this to come up. But to look at, so I'm going to share my screen real quick, and I'll show you. So, I mean, it's just these little things. So this is the thumbnail that I did. So I'm going to kind of zoom in here, and this was the thumbnail that I did. But so like this little tick in the R, right? That was his calling card. And so to be able to kind of see that and know that the reason he got busted is because there were a bunch of people in a group like ours sitting around chit-chatting, and they said, hey, I have a 39 and it has this mark in it. And they're like, oh, I got a 44 and it has that mark in it. Oh, hey, I've got a 47 and it has that mark in it. That's not right. And then they started looking at it. They started looking at all the labels and going, there's something wrong here. That's not right. It shouldn't be that way. And it's community like this, people talking like us, which is what enabled them to catch Henning. I mean, initially they were like, you guys are crazy. They're just old coins. You're seeing a lot of commonalities. But after time, they actually identified it and they found that out. That is, I don't know, if you have the little hand icon by a raise of hands, how many people like stupid trivia or useless trivia, right? It's one of those things where you're going to be playing a game one time and you're going to find out, play Trivial Pursuit or something like that, and you're going to be something like, who was Henning? And you're going to be like, I know who that is. I know what that's about, right? And that's the kind of stuff I want to do in 2023. So for the folks that are online, I really want feedback from you guys. I really want to know, what kind of content do you guys find interesting? If there is something that I do that's like, oh my God, everybody's doing that, don't do that stuff, let me know.
There was a situation that came up just a while ago when you mentioned about the fake item. There was some people looked at a coin that was slabbed, bought from eBay. They noticed that it was the same one, and the number that was on the slab was sold on eBay. Well, 4 or 5 people were talking about it. They got a hold of the person who had bought it because the coin was toned. The slab was opened, it was tampered with, and they sold it for a higher value. Is that the one?
So this is a different one.
Oh, I see.
But what I'm going to do, and I've got to put it like this.
Well, the status of the dealer who sold it at a tampered now is like, I wouldn't say blackballed, but questionable about his selling practices.
Yeah. So again, this is something that I'm going to piss off some people for just a minute. I don't have a problem with people having a trade. I don't have a problem with people remaking. So let's say you have Grogu from Star Wars, from The Mandalorian, right? Not a sponsor, right? Not even a sponsor of Marvel. I just like the shirt. But if you're an artist and you want to redraw that, that's fine. Put your spin on it. Put your thing on it. if you are an engraver and you want to design a coin that looks similar to another's, that's fine. Put your mark on it. Do something where you're not trying to replicate it exactly. The people who utilize this stuff and use it to trick, to undermine, to
Deceive.
fool, that aggravates the hell out of me. Right? I don't mind somebody having a trade. I don't mind somebody being an artist and doing that, but don't put that, or don't allow that to be in the hands of somebody who's going to manipulate somebody else and use it for nefarious purposes. I don't want that. So like this one, okay. Now I did a discussion on this in my last live stream where I talked about this particular coin. This coin is um, it's a real number, right? And if you look at it, it's going to be that double eagle. Now, you look at this coin and you can see very quickly that this is not gold. The color's off. There are things about the number for this coin in retrospect to this number on purpose. Okay, now this is what I'm talking about having these things done. There are some things that I was very, very, very specific to, and that was this label. I actually had them generate, but I wanted the label to be all wrong. Instead of it being left justified, it was center justified. Instead of this being where you could see the whole thing in an image, it's grainy and there's granularity behind it. The label on the back is incorrect. The code that talks about the tamper removal is actually a PCGS label. So the whole thing, this entire case is fake, but that number is real. It actually points to a real coin. And we reached out to, I got on with the coin crew and talked to him and his buddy, brother Mike, and gave them that number. And we reported this number to to NGC and said, you need to remove that number from your listing because it's being used for nefarious purposes. And, if the reason that I'm doing this is, people are like, well, you're helping them by buying fake coins. And it's like, well, number one, there's a million of them out there. They're for sale. You go to all these different locations. You're not going to find a double eagle for $25. It's a $46,000 coin. You're just not going to find it. You can see these people that buy lots of Morgans. They buy, 10 Morgans for $100. They're not real. I mean, it's just not going to happen. Here's a Morgan, right? I mean, when I'll take it out of the case. It's fake. Now, why do I have it? Well, because when I get a coin in, I want to know what the fake looks like. I also want to know the properties and the information behind what a real coin is. I want to know what the weight is. I want to know what the feel of the coin is. I want to know, what do the reeds look like, the edge looks like. I want to know what the detail on both of them. I want to know what the differences are. And I'm a tactile person. Right? So I want to be able to do that. So when you look at this particular coin, let me throw that here. When you look at this particular coin, and you look at like Liberty, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit real quick. When you look at Liberty, you'll see, let me get down here. You can see how it's just, and I'm holding this coin. You can see how it's really thin. It doesn't look right. You look at the R. The R is not very clear. The B has two sizes, top and bottom. It's not straight. I drop this back down. I'll show you another one, and it just makes me laugh. But it's important that people see this and understand these things that you're looking at. And so I really want to share this. This is the one that makes me laugh. Now, if you guys seen the counterfeiting one, you've seen this, but I can't help but laugh at that, right? So it's just like, oh my God, that is that's horrible. Look at the date on that, right?
Hmm.
You look at a real 1877, they're clean, crisp lions. Um, yeah, and it's just it's funny to look at these. But what I want is I want people to see this. I actually want people to understand that if you see a date that looks like this, it's fake, right? Because people are not always just auditory learners. People are not always, they can't just hear something and understand. Many people have to be visual. And, we talk about the coins and we say, this is a fake. Well, okay, cool. But show me what that looks like. Show me what that means. And I want people to see and understand that, right? And so if I have to spend $5 to buy a fake penny so that I can put it out there and say, guys, gals, if you see this, right? You see that wonky Liberty? See how it's all kind of fuzzy? They're not the same. You look at the states. Now, if you look at this really, really close, okay, you look at the word states, you can see that it doesn't flow in any linear fashion. The typeset doesn't flow properly. They're not even all the way across the top. If you look at a normal one, there's a nice even. Let me get something to point at real quick. You always have something until you don't. I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if you'll be able to see that.
I always use a pen.
Yeah, well, I have one, but
Not a pen as in writing, pen as in
needle.
sewing, needle.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'll use this. This is the tip of a zip tie. And so if you look at the states across the top, right, and you see
Hmm.
that there, it doesn't flow. It's not smooth, right? It kind of goes staggered up and down. So I want people to know these. So these are the kind of things that I want to engage in 2023. Now I'm going to go to a couple comments real quick. Okay. Um, just stack it. Yeah. So fakes are getting better, and this is the issue with technology, right? Now we love technology. We got these 3D printers, right, to do some really amazing things. And you can buy copper zinc, you can buy brass, you can buy bronze, and you can put this thing on a really high-end 3D printer and print some of these things. Um, there are these laser guided lathe machines, and there's these machines that they use for machining that you actually take the coin, whatever the real thing that you want to do, they put it on there, and then they do copies of them. And so the technology makes it so difficult to identify, and it gets to the point to where we talk about things like the Coin Crew, and Mike's going to beat me because I just subbed to his channel, but I can't remember the name of his channel. Hold on, let me get there and I'll get it for you because I want to make sure that people go there and check out some of his stuff as well. But it's important that this is why if you're connected to or you have the opportunity to and I'm sorry I'm not looking at the camera, I'm trying to find the name of this channel. If you don't have a good coin community around and you don't have access to that kind of stuff, how do you do that? How do you figure it out? How do you identify it, right? It makes it really difficult. Now you can go if it's silver bullion or gold bullion and things like that. You can take it to a bullion dealer in your area, and they can put the little metal device thing on there and find it out. But a lot of people don't know to do that. I'm trying to find this channel. Mike's going to be really upset that I don't know his channel name.
While you're looking for that name, the channel, there's two things that you caught my attention. One was tactile. I teach in the realm of audiovisual and tactile. So whenever I present,
Yeah.
an issue with, a concept or standard, or even something that I'm talking about outside of the content area. Because when I teach my kids worldly things, because I came from business for 25 years. And at 43, I became a teacher. So a lot of the things that I learned in school, and then when I learned in the business world, wasn't really translating into school, being them prepared for the real world, coming outside. And a lot of times, kids, even when I was training people for certain jobs in retail, I had to show them, they had to read it, and they had to do it. So that was the visual, the tactical, and also the internal stuff that can take inside their thought processes. And it seemed to work a lot better when you do all three, because in a classroom you have one person who's only tactile, one person's only visual, and so forth and so on. And the second thing you said was that caught my attention was the channel. There's a few people. I've been on this for 4 years, and I've had a lot of people that have passed on, like Richie's and like Ken Peavy and Stern. All those guys were newsmatic. They're no longer with us, but their information on YouTube is there. So I was trying to figure out a way on my channel is to pass on those people's knowledge, because Ken Peavy was called a professor,
Yeah.
and then try to keep his link. His link is still open, and there's Q&A, live Q&A with Paula Bloom and Blue Ridge Hound and Sean. And there's a lot of, people say, here, look at my coin. Is this what I think it is? And then they discuss it, and yes, it is. And to discuss other things about numismatic value, especially the knowledge. But I hate to see that. I always should say hate's a strong word. I'm disappointed that there's not a way to have those people like Ken Peavy. He's the one that got me into details, orientation towards, numismatic, spreading the hobby, all those foundations that you're talking about right now. Oh, by the way, I don't know your first name. My name's Hector, and I'm from California. And it's just that a lot of that information that's been not passed down yet. And there's got to be a way to revive their channels. Or I know they talk about him because the people who knew him. I mean, he even did clay moldings of dye deterioration, doubling, hub doubling, and all the things that you need to know about, the process of minting coins. And I try to tell everybody, if you really want to learn something, go to Ken Peavy's, go to Stearns, go to Richie's channel. But I haven't found a way to incorporate that into daily conversation online.
Yeah. No, I'm not looking for Mike P's channel. It's Coin Crew's brother. I absolutely just went blank. And I'm trying to do this and look at it, but I'm not doing a very good job at it. So I'll remember and I'll throw it in there later. But yeah, it's too often people forget that not everybody is like them. And so we've got to think about, it's important for me to share information. Now, I work in the med field. I am a process guy. I look at ways to improve processes. I look at ways to make healthcare safer. I look at ways to report information and share information in the scope and the realm of transparency, to really get people to understand what information is out there, how do we use information, and how do we improve things. And I want to bring that information over to here. I want people to look at, and this is why in every one of my videos, or in every one of the comments or whatever, Mid-American Coins, I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. Thanks, Philip. Appreciate that. And he's going to, I should know that. He's going to beat me for it again, but trying to remember. everybody's name, everybody's channel. Now, for those of you that don't know, I've only been doing this about 30 days. And so the outpouring and appreciation that I have from all of you guys, I can't thank you enough. But I'm still learning who's who, trying to remember what name goes with what channel and what who does what and stuff. So I appreciate the leniency and letting me have some temporary brain lapses. But yeah, it's just it's cool stuff. Now, Philip, you were talking about Stern. Is that the same gentleman that Sal from Salivate Metal was talking about yesterday? Because I've heard that name a lot over the last few weeks. Yeah, Perry, it definitely takes time. And I'm a little slow sometimes when it comes to learning, but so well. Hey, real quick, let's talk about tonight. So there's one thing that I always do. You'll hear it in my channel. You'll hear it whenever it comes time to a festivity. So this is something I want to share with all you guys. If there's anything, yeah, thank you, Philip. I appreciate it. If there's anything that I'm adamant about, it's that I want to keep around people that I know. And so if you guys are going to be out and about, guys and gals, okay, if you are going to be freaking awesome, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Now, this is, sorry, I want to deviate from what I was saying. This is a guy that I absolutely admire because there's so much stuff behind the scenes, moderating site after site after site after site. Just awesome. I mean, I'm absolutely appreciate seeing what I'm going to make him a moderator on this one. But snapping people's channels, throw them in the chat, right? Making sure people know about what's going on. Making sure people get connected. I just, you're awesome, brother. I appreciate you, man. And so, yeah, no worries. Again, this was more impromptu. My live stream time is Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. I just wanted to do this simply because it's Starika. Hey, appreciate you coming in. I wanted to share this because it's New Year's, and I just wanted to tell everybody kind of a little bit about my dime book that I'm putting together for the Mercs. Thanks for joining for that. But what I was saying is that if there's anything that I'm really adamant about, and I will say this in every holiday, I will say this everywhere, I like knowing people, and I like people being around. And if you, ladies and gentlemen, drink tonight, lose your keys. Okay, this is something that I'm adamant about. It sits hard with me. I don't care if you're a partier or not. Get an Uber, get a cab. Okay, I want to meet every one of you next year. I want to talk to every one of you next year. Okay, so if you drink, please lose your keys. That's the one thing that I ask from everybody. Do it or not. I'm going to put it out there because we have enough crap in our life that we don't need to lose brother or sister here on the channel. And so please do that for me.
I agree with you.
So yeah, see, look at this. See, Freaking's already throwing them out there. I love you, man. I appreciate you doing this. I'm just telling you, Now, Mike, if you were closer, I would absolutely have come and have a drink with you. Except Goldschlager, dude. I don't do Goldschlager. I can't do it. I do have a really, really nice bottle of bourbon that I'll fire the name out your way later on, though. But yeah, I wish you lived closer, man. I'd love to I'd love to connect with you and have a drink and talk about comics and coins. So I got 10 people on right now. I appreciate y'all coming in, saying hi. Smash that like. I appreciate it. It definitely helps with the stream and helps get people out there. But I'm going to put it out there. If there's anybody that's online that wants to just kind of come in and say hi and talk about what you're going to be doing tonight, or a little bit about your channel, what are you guys going to be doing? What is your goal for 2023? Then let me know that you're interested. I'm going to try and join Mike's channel tonight. He's talking about going live later on this evening. If you guys are going to be home not doing anything, I go over and check out Mike's channel. He's been listed there by Free King. But if there's anybody that wants to come on, please, wave at me, throw your hand up, and I'll fire that link in. Hey, Carrie, how are you doing? I'm going to throw her a little bit of love. Carrie's always so nice. Always got something nice to say. Let's throw Carrie a little love.
The one thing, Frostbite, that I wanted to also mention was that I have 1,000 subscribers, but it was never for a giveaway. It wasn't for, out there scamming for, I think I've done one giveaway with a 25 channel with Michael Kittle, who gave away a 1909 SVDB, but I didn't get my 1,000 until 2 years later. So I think my goal is probably just to have a good conversation, keep the chat clean, enjoy the knowledge that people can convey on what I don't know anything about. I'm not an expert in one thing, but I like to know that I'm able to understand the concepts and maybe apply it later to actual physical fruition of that type of knowledge that would pertain to me. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. And I think just talking to people and acknowledging them in the chat can grow your channel, and you can find out the people that you want to be around. Because I have a few people that I do private chat, and all we do is talk about coins. Because sometimes some of the channels become a little hostile, or they get off topic, and I'm not into getting off topic. So I like to talk about certain things and get back to coins. If it does a short whip it.
Yeah, and you guys, if there's anybody on here most of the people that I see on here, I see on all these other channels as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not subscribed to one of the folks that's in here, please go. Now, most of you know this. Okay, I'm going to swing this over here real quick. Most of you know this. But if you go sub to a channel and you don't like or you don't comment, within like 2 to 3 hours, that sub goes away. Mm-hmm. It doesn't stay on your channel. So if you're going to go sub to somebody, make sure you smash that like, watch one of their shorts, put a little comment in there, and then that sub will stay. It's really easy when you're going through a live stream working with a bunch of people to just throw a whole bunch in, and it's cool because you see your numbers go up, and then all of a sudden they plummet because nobody liked or subscribed. And Philip, if you want an album filler roll of Mercs, oh, absolutely, yeah.
I've known Philip for a while now.
I'm going to throw my, I could spell. That's one thing. Got short, fat fingers. So I type slow and with lots of errors. So, Philip, I just threw my email in chat. Yeah, throw me an email. I definitely want to talk to you about that because we can't get dimes. I can get boxes of half dollars. I can get bills, $2 bills. I can get quarters. I can get pennies, but I can't get nickels and I can't get dimes. So it's really hard to kind of fill a book when you can't get the thing that you need to search. And so Yeah, if you could
It-
send
it-
me some
it-
stuff, that would be great.
Here's
Um,
here's a hint, Frostbite. When you're going to get any kind of change that is boxes, if you use the word exchange to the teller, because in I don't know if it's still around, but we have a coin shortage in California, especially in the Central Valley. I go to my bank and I've been trying to get boxes. Oh no, you got to be a merchant. You got to do this. You got to do that. And I said, just to get boxes, I'll give you money for that. And said, no, it's not that. I said, we don't have a supply, and it costs us money to bring in more coin for people who ask for change.
yeah.
So when I started using the word exchange, automatically there's no big deal.
So explain what you mean by exchange.
What I mean by exchange is when I go to the teller, I ask them, here's $25 worth of my rolls. Can I have a different set of $25 rolls of pennies or nickels or dimes? Whatever the amount of box that you want is an exchange. That way they're not missing on their supply. They don't have to order any more. And then they replace their with your exchange with theirs, and they're not having any problem about ordering.
Yeah, so different banks do things different ways. And so for those of you, I'm sure everybody online already knows this, and I'm probably just going to ramble on about something that people already know. But if there's anybody who hasn't done inventory, uh, inventory sucks. And being in a bank doesn't change that, right? Hector's laughing because he used to work in the uh,
Retail industry.
retail. Thank you. Good guy. I just went blank.
That's okay.
More coffee. More coffee.
And I'll tell you this: I worked for a very large uh, discount store that I think my last store I had to do $37 million in stock.
Hold on. That's freaking. It's just Hector and I. The other one is going to be removed. There. Now it's just the two of us. I know you were trying to find out what the name of that was, but that was my coin cam. So I apologize for that. Yeah, but so Hector, you're fully aware that inventory sucks. But um, the reason that I say that is banks have to do the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? They have to inventory what's in their vault. They have to count their bills. Doesn't matter what denomination it is. They have to count their rolls, whether they're in boxes or whether they're loose. And if you order and then you take them back to the bank that you bought them in, they sit on those and they will be stuck with that inventory. So what I've done is I've talked to like 3 or 4 different um, Perry, let me check the routing on that and see. I'm sure it's probably I know you kind of live out in the middle of the boonies, so hopefully it arrived with all the freezing and nasty weather conditions. It's probably just a little bit slow. Let me check the tracking on that, and then I'll get back with you on that. But I was hoping you'd have it. If not, you might get it on Tuesday. But what I've done is I've talked to like 3 or 4 different branches, 2 different banks. And the one bank is my drop bank. It's my return bank. And they have a Coinstar, and they don't take rolls at all. So you take the coins in, you dump them into the Coinstar, you get your little ticket, you go to the counter, they deposit your money, and then you're done. So what I've done is I've set up an account with 2 different banks, and I buy from one and I drop off at the other because they have a Coinstar. And I talked to the managers, and they're like, as long as you don't bring in a box, if you bring them in, throw them into the Coinstar, they will pick them up, they'll run them through the machine, and then they take them. But the stuff that goes into the Coinstar doesn't go on their inventory list. And so if you work with the bank and you say, hey, I want to buy 2 boxes of 50-cent pieces, but I can promise you they won't be returned here. And so, because then they're like, oh, okay, I don't have to worry about these coming back into my inventory. and manager will be way more prone to working with you on getting those coins, and getting those boxes, because you're not taking them back. Now, if you have a good relationship with your bank and they're good with that, and they'll do things like mark the boxes or whatnot so you don't get them, that's really cool. But most people don't have that. And so find a drop bank, one of the banks that, they have the Coinstar, or they won't buy or do coins, and make that your drop bank, make that your dump bank. And then make sure you go and find your bank that is willing to order them, but just reassure that manager, I'm not going to be bringing these back to you. I will be ordering coins from you, but I will not return them to you. I don't want them on your inventory. I don't want you guys to get stuck with these. And they'll really, really appreciate it. And you'll find a lot more leniency with them being willing to buy coins. Now, the problem that we have, excuse me, with the dimes and the nickels is that they just don't have them. And I don't know if it's the coin, the people that deliver them. I don't know if it's the local hub. I don't know if they go up north towards Dallas or Houston. Again, I'm down near San Antonio. So I don't know if they're up, they get more up in Dallas and Houston area, simply because of population densities. I don't know what the answer to that is. I can get halves, no problem. I can get quarters, a little bit harder to get quarters, but I can usually get them without issue. Pennies are easy to get. I can get, up to 3-4 boxes at a time if I want. But I can't do the dimes. And so it makes it really tough to do that. Constitutional. He is in the house. I'm going to throw you a little drag in there, brother. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you coming in. Now, Constitutional, well, unfortunately, that one didn't do it. So let me put in a different emoji. Here, I'll put in the Swiss heart, because he's saved me a couple times from looking stupid. But again, it's just one of those things where take care of the people who take care of you, right? And so if a bank knows that you're not going to dump that stuff back on them, then they're more willing to work with you. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I think that's more of the management side of it. When I'm dealing with the tellers, they're the ones that are what I seem to have is the blocking issue, because they get their orders from the manager or the vault manager, one of the two, and a lot of times it's better if it's exchange and they said no, then that's it. Then can I get a box? And they'll probably say no. Then I have to open an account. What did you mean by opening an account at your bank? Is that where you open a business account?
So what I've done is I have the bank I do all my business with. That's totally and utterly separate from anything I do with stacking coins or hobbies. Totally separate. And then I have my play money bank, right? That's where I do all my silver stacking or my coin roll hunting or all that. And then I have an account which is my dump bank, and that's where all that stuff that I do the searches on, it all goes back to that particular bank. And the dump bank knows their dump bank. I told the manager, hey, you have a Coinstar here. I want to open up an account. I'll put the money in, I'll deposit it, and then I just transfer. I have it to where those two banks are connected, and then I just transfer the one to the other one. And so I deposit it, let it go, run it for a couple of days. It gets deposited to the other account. Then I go buy my rolls again, or I go buy my boxes again. And so I keep those totally separate from my real money. My real money it's totally different. They never get tied together. So number one, hold on. Constitutional. Why don't you use that one? Pop on in. Say hi. And you should have a wrench. You should be blue now. My chat didn't go through. Tell me if that worked. Did it show up? Yeah, there you go. There's the link, Constitutional. Come on up if you want to join. Oh, no. Bust my chops all you want, man. That's what makes it fun. Oh, I got to tell you. We were looking at the New York Times thing, and we were watching videos of the new year, where it falls down to zero. And my son was like, man, I can't stand this stuff. I just don't like it. It makes me feel bad. And I was like, what? He's like, watching that ball drop. And I was like, what? Does it remind you what you've done in school all year? He didn't think that was funny. I thought it was hilarious. But anyway. Yeah, you have a channel here. And again, so the one thing, this is my third live stream. So getting familiar with moderators, getting used to that kind of stuff. Bacardi Jim, if I don't know who you are, I love your name. Welcome. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. Hey, Freaking, do me a favor. Throw Bacardi's link in there. I don't know that I've seen that channel. Bacardi
Well,
Jim.
it's time for me to get.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to
I'm
his
gonna
channel. Okay.
take off and get my grandkids and go have some a little bit of fun.
All right. Well, thanks for popping in, Hector. Appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you much. Everybody else,
Right.
be safe, be careful, stay healthy. See you guys next year.
Peace out. Heartburn, 2 tablets. So is there anybody else that wants to pop on in? Say hi. Free King, you want to pop in? Constitutional, you want to stop in, say hi? How about Paul? Paul Casper, you're more than welcome to come on in. Just let me know and I'll throw that. The link's already up in chat, but there's Constitutional. Sorry, I had a little bit of a delay. How's it going, brother?
Hey, what's happening, man? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Appreciate you.
Just got up from a nap, first day off in, probably 3 months. And they wanted me to go in, and I was like, nope.
You got what, 5 jobs you're pushing now?
Well, I work 7 days a week for the same company. I'm salary 5 days at one location. I'm an hourly for tips, 2 days at another location. I do my investing on the side. Now YouTube that I don't get paid for. And yeah, I mean, I'm busy, man.
Oh, no, I definitely know you're busy. And again, when I told you that you saved me, it's just kind of that, hey, let's talk about, some of the things you can do to be successful. And every ounce of that kind of information is definitely beneficial. And you look at I love the straight candor of your channel, man. I like the fact that it's like, hey, I changed my strategy. I talked to somebody and I'm going to do something a little different. And it's like, I'm just here to chat. Don't take me for what I am. Just, I am who I am. And, I really like that candor.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, you talk about changing strategies. I actually have a video coming out, I think Wednesday. I'm changing how I'm buying gold starting this coming year. Changing it up, man. Rethinking things,
Is that was that the teaser that you put out yesterday?
No, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that. So looking to see. So I got a question for you when you're talking about gold.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I started when I originally wanted to do gold was to buy the 10th ounce Eagles. But I've heard people talking about buying 10th ounce as not a really good way to invest. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think, because I can't drop, $1,000 or $2,500 a pop to buy, a gold coin or a gold bar. What are your strategies on buying that smaller denomination worth of coin of gold?
Yeah, it's funny you bring it up because that's actually pretty much what it's about. I bought 10th ounce gold for a long time. I would steer away from the grams. I wouldn't go smaller than 1/10 ounce, but there's always a premium, and that's the problem. But my belief system is this, man. If all somebody can afford to do is buy a 10th ounce of gold at a time, do it. Um, if saving the cash to buy quarter ounce at a time or half ounce at a time is kind of out of the realm of possibilities, it's definitely better to have gold than not have gold. So I did it that way for a long time. I'm just going to start stepping up into the half or the full ounce pieces at a time, which is going to kill me because it means I'm not going to be stacking any silver in the meantime, or not as much, and that's going to hurt me at a cellular level. But that's where I'm headed, just because I'm trying to get as much bang for my buck. But if somebody can only do a 10th ounce at a time, absolutely, I think they should do it.
See, that's good to know because, like I said, there's so much information out there. It's really hard to know uh, to separate the wheat from the chaff, if that makes sense. I'm going to shift this a little bit.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I would definitely stay away from the 20th ounce coins, and I would try to stay away from the grams, just because, I mean, the premium is just so high. A lot of people stack the grams, um, and again, if somebody can't save any money and that's how they're going to get gold, it's better than not having gold. But I would try to go no smaller than 1/10 ounce for sure.
Okay.
That would be my bottom.
Yeah, and when you're looking at $350, when you're looking at the Eagles, it's a hard time to it's a hard thing to justify, you know.
Tough.
When you
Rough.
can look at I'm gonna pull up some other ones, and just like the what is it called? And I just went completely blank. The place that you sent me to get the ladies, Hero Bullion.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so they're located not too far because they're in Houston, so they're only a couple hours away. So what I want to start doing is I want to start actually going to those locations, and we have one here. One is an online presence. The other one, I just haven't been able to get anything or see anything from them. But we go to Houston a couple times a year for things like kids events or to go check out, Astros game or something like that. And so I think I'm going to have to make some special trips to do this. But as I start to buy, because I mean, my stack's tiny. When it comes to silver, I've got a lot of old Wheaties and a lot of nickels and things of that nature, a lot of quarters, but I don't have a really good stack, and so I'm definitely wanting to look at doing some of that stuff. So
Sure.
I appreciate you guys' insight. I appreciate you sending me to Hero. That was pretty cool. There's other ones like JM that I go check out as well, but it's. My big thing is having somebody to go to and saying, "Hey, I'm looking at buying this. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Here's the price point. This is what the coin is, or this is what it looks like. What are your thoughts?" You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, that's always useful. Yeah, I used to use the JM a lot. I haven't been there in a while, but I'm definitely a fan of Hero and SD, and I should probably look at JM more. I don't know. I get such good deals on Hero and SD. I haven't needed to lately, but
Well,
I do
see,
like JM.
I went to SD and was looking up because I was looking the gold buffalo rounds.
Right. Okay.
And so they had a special not too long ago on those. And so I started to look at SD and then had something come up and wasn't able to buy at all. So I had to kind of wait. But yeah, so I think there's three or four sites that have come highly recommended, and that's one of them.
Yep, for sure.
But I liked Hero, and I like that lady, man. That is a good 10-ounce block of silver.
It's interesting too. If you go and look on Hero under their 10-ounce bar sections, they have a lot of different 10-ounce art bars now in that whole category, which I didn't know. So that's gonna probably force me to spend some more cash.
Yeah, it's and I don't know if I got a lag or if it's just my my stream. I seem to be coming in. There's a little bit of delay, but anyway, it's probably just on my end. Yeah, when when I was looking for that one, because I had lost the link, I was looking at some of the Aztec rounds and looking at some of the other bars. I was like, man, they got some really good. They got some really nice art stuff on there. They got a couple. I really like dragons. I'm a fan of dragons, and so they have a one from the Australia, the Perth Mint. That's
Oh yeah,
pretty sweet looking 1 ounce bar.
the Perth puts out a lot of good stuff, and I like Dragon stuff too. Dragon and silver just go really well together for some reason.
Yeah, it's just good looking. I mean, you know, it's amazing to look at some of this stuff. Do you now? This is something that you talked about in one of your other channels or one of your other videos, and that was the size of your sack. So staying away from like the kilos because of, you know, as it goes up, you're having to declare it, right? Especially when you're watching that $10,000 mark. Do you prefer or do you recommend staying in that 10 ounce, or what's your preferred buying size?
Well, that was actually about the 100-ounce bar because I only have 100-ounce bar, but it occurred to me that if silver hits, you know, $100 an ounce someday, that could be an issue. I like 100-ounce bars. A lot of people don't, because they say that they're hard to liquidate, which has not been my experience at all. I mean, my LCS will buy it tomorrow. I mean, he doesn't care. I think, you know, I don't know. I like 100-ounce bars. I'd like to get another one. I don't have any kilos. I would. I think, you know, I think kilos, 10-ounce bars. I think that's a really, really good place to be. And of course, some 1-ouncers in case you need to, you know, get rid of an ounce at a time. So I'd say 1, 10, and kilo would probably be where I'd stick.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've been I've been pretty taken with some of the Argentinian designs that have come out. They have some really good stuff on that. So I really like that Hero site. That was a good lead, man. I appreciate that. And
yeah, he has done right by me, man. I love him.
I'll
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, fire away.
I was just wondering, do you have anybody waiting backstage to get in on the chat or what?
No, I don't have anybody else. It's open to anybody who wants to dial in. Starika, I know Freaking says he can't. Paul says he can't get his Polaroid instant camera to connect to his computer.
Yeah. There's some others in here too. I wonder who else is lurking in the live stream.
Geraldine, Bacardi, Jim. Any of you guys want to join? I don't want to. I just want to leave this open and talk about. So let me ask you this, Constitution. What do you want? What do you want for 2023? What's the goal for your channel?
You know, I've been thinking about that. We're only about 3 months in. I'm not sure yet. I want to keep pumping out videos. I would really like to hit the 1,000K sub mark, obviously. We're at about 528 in 3 months, just under 3 months. So that's good. It's kind of slowing down, which, you know, is frustrating, but it's to be expected. So I'd like to hit, you know, 1,000K by the end of 2023, hopefully sooner for sure. See what direction we can take it. I definitely want to add some more gold to the stack that I want to do more videos on. That's going to be a goal. Oh, and I really want to start learning how to pour in 2023, and I want to include some of that in the channel, depending on how well that goes. I really want to start pouring silver.
You know, you said something, and this is something I love, that show Forged in Fire, right?
Oh yeah,
where they do all of that smithing. it's always been really amazing to me. But there's a gentleman that does a lot of really cool um, metallurgy, where he's looking at doing things like, what does it take to get really pure gold, right? And he'll break it down, and where he talks about, this is how much sterling silver you need to burn off to offset the other stuff that's inside. So what do you need and able to put in your acid, and what mixture, what level do you have to do, what's required for your chemicals canopy, what kind of filtration do you have to have, what kind of airflow, what kind of ventilation system, what kind of heating elements do you have to do, what's the mix rate for things like gold or silver, or how much, if you're going to be if you're trying to tease out the gold content, then you need to have this much of your sterling, or this much silver content, in order to get however ounces of gold are there. And I just found it extremely fascinating to look at what it takes to get really decent pure gold. Because he'll take like 200 grams of old jewelry, and then he'll come out with a nugget that's 24, 25 grams of 0.9% fine. It's like, oh, I'll go through and I'll refine this a couple more times to get this 0.995 or whatever it is. And it's just like, it's just amazing. So if you guys do that, Bacardi Jim says that's something that he would like to do as well. That you definitely have my support on that, because that's a pretty remarkable thing to do. I love that kind of stuff.
Well, and yeah, I actually just subbed to Bacardi Jim because I want to see if he starts pouring. I'll be watching Bacardi Jim. But see, there's so much to know about it, and I'm fortunate enough to know a couple people in the community that have poured, so maybe they can give me some direction. But I don't want to pour garbage. I don't want to pour crap. I want to do this right. I'm sure the first couple times it's not going to go well, and I'm fortunate enough to have a refiner out here that when I called them about a month ago, they said they sell shot for $250 over spot. So I mean that's a really cheap way. Of course, you got your initial investment of your furnace, your crucible, and your fuel for pouring and all that. But after that initial investment, I figure that and the stamps. But I figure that will be a cheap way to add to my silver stack. At $250 over spot, that's not bad. And of course, I mean there's other costs involved, but I think it'd be fun, and I'm looking forward to that. I just got to find the time,
Well, yeah, time is money, and money is time, and so you look at what are you willing to invest your stuff into. Where do you want to put it? Where's your focus? And
Right.
It's so easy to just say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do this," until you find out that it's going to eat up 20 hours of your week. And so, I have to live vicariously through people. I don't have that much time to play this. I didn't realize how much time this took, and I'm only on a few times a week, but modding on some people's sites, joining in periodically to people's chats, things of that nature. It's a lot of fun, but man, it's time consuming. My
Oh
wife,
man,
this is
Go ahead.
my second wife. So
What happened to the first wife? She leave you because you spent too much time on your channel?
yeah, well, we won't go into my
No,
success or failures in marriage, but
no, I was just making a joke about the time this takes because, you're right. I mean, you're doing all these live streams. I haven't even done a live on my channel yet, but I'm thinking about this. One day, I spent 2 hours because I try to respond to every comment that I get. I spent 2 hours doing comments, replies, And then I logged
Yeah.
back in about an hour later and I had another 20 minutes to do. And it's not like that every day, but man, between making videos and emails and comments and sending out stickers, dude, it's time consuming. So, you got, all these lives you've been doing, which what are they running about, 2 hours on average, I'd say. So that's
So
time.
I've been more I've been on more as a guest on other people's streams. So I got to go on as a guest on Mike Peace and Found It Buried streams. I've been on probably 4 or 5 of Found It Burieds. But I've only housed 3 of my own. And they've been, I think the first one where they've actually kind of got into some good discussion about the counterfeiting or the coin searching when we were doing the $50 rolls. And I think that went about 2 hours, but there was a lot of other content. The second one I did, which was the counterfeiting one, which was on the Henning nickel, that one was only like 45 minutes, but there were people that wanted to continue the conversation. I just wasn't prepared for it, so I didn't have people on standby. I wasn't really set up to have a discussion. So I talked with a couple people, had a pretty popular YouTuber that we all deal with on a regular basis say, call me, and kind of gave me some great insight. And, this is what you need to do, and this is what you should look at, and, have people on, schedule your stuff a couple hours ahead of time. This is what you want to look at. And it's been a tremendous help. But what I fully understand is that it's going to take time, and I have zero issue with people coming in and looking at my stuff and going, not interested in this discussion. I'm good with that. Not a problem. Not a big deal. I don't want to waste anyone's time. But if you want to join me in conversation, right? You want to come on the stream and you want to talk. There's something in this discussion, like Hector just jumped on, or you just jumped on. If there's something on here that you find interesting and you want to join me, come on, let's talk, because that's how we build this community. We build this community through conversation. I like chat, right? But you can't hear somebody's interest or design. You can't hear their passion through chat unless they're yelling at you, or you get really good people who are, emoji kings and queens who can, hit, 400 emojis, an hour. I mean, then you kind of get a feeling for kind of how they are, who they are, or whatnot. But I can't do that, right? If I'm looking at emoji, I end up like, it's that one.
And that's the thing, like, so I'm not a coin collector per se. Everyone, that watches me knows I'm a weight stacker, but I've learned a great deal by watching some of your videos about counterfeit coins, things I didn't know. So that's how we grow as stackers, collectors, what have you, is, we listen to other people, we watch other people, we have conversations. There's always something we can learn from each other. And I think people forget that. There's always something to be learned from someone else's perspective or experience, I think.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing. So you stack weight. Okay, cool. But if you're going to stack a roll of 20 Morgans, you really want to know whether those are good or not. You want to be able to look at it and go, these are Gem BU. Or, no, these, they said they're almost AU. No, these are definitely circulated. If you get in 1878 Morgan, you're going to want to know what some of the varieties are. You're going to want to look at that and go, I spent, hey, Veteran Metals, thanks for joining. I don't know what service you're with, but go Navy. I can't imagine having somebody stacking silver and gold who had zero idea of what the value of a coin might be, right? Because you don't know. For instance, let's say that you had an 1878 that had a VAM 20 or VAM 7 or something like that, and that coin sells for $2,500. Well, if you sell that stack at 20 coins at 100, $200 a piece, let's say, you just lost $2,000 by not understanding what you had. So I think it's really important, right? And this is why when you look at, hey, thanks, veteran, I appreciate it. And whoop, airborne, right? Here we go, Rangers. All right. But when you're looking at those things, when you're looking at bullion, when you're looking at bars, when you're looking at gold, when you're looking at coins, I don't know what makes a silver bar more valuable than another one, other than I like the look of that one, right? But there may be something that I don't really necessarily like the look of that you'd be like, man, I'd buy that all day long because they're really sought after. How do you find that? Hey, Bacardi Jim. Okay, so Bacardi Jim is now a moderator. Got to keep my Navy brothers happy. So Bacardi Jim is now going to be shipmate. Okay. But I want to know, right? So when you're looking at this, and I know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And so, but there's going to be certain things that I don't know. When listening to Sal's conversations, when listening to some of those things, it's like I wouldn't have thought to look at that. I wouldn't have thought to pay attention to that. Look at gold. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So I look at the last 60 days. No, well, if you want to get a really good feel for it, you need to be looking at the 1 to 2 year, 1 to 5 year, right? You want to see what historically has happened. What is the ceiling? What's it been? Talking, I don't know if it was you, where we were talking about valuation of gold and how it doesn't really, it's not been tied to money, right? They no longer, the stock market and stuff like that don't really have a direct hand in hand to the value. You know what I mean?
No, that's such a good point. Like, when people compare the stock market and the economy, I laugh because, man, the stock market hasn't been tied to the economy in years. The stock market reacts to fake currency pumped into it. It reacts to what a celebrity says. It reacts to what it thinks the Fed is going to do. It has nothing to do with how well the economy is doing, and it's so far detached from that it just cracks me up when people compare it to the economy. No, you're absolutely right.
A great example of that is 2010. Look at what happened at the flash crash in 2010, right? Mm-hmm. Where somebody said they were going to sell, I can't remember who it was. Somebody said they were going to sell, they were going to do something, and it caused, like, in minutes, 9% of the Dow to fall. I mean, taking huge companies that were solid, stable, good financials, and it made them, $78 down to $9.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
right? And it came off of just bad information. I mean, it's just horrible.
Elon Musk can say something about Dogecoin and it'll go up a lot or down a lot one way or the other. It's just insane. Metals kind of do the same thing in a way. Let's be honest. Depending on what the COMEX does or what the paper price does, but it's not nearly as dramatic of a swing. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, unlike stocks or crypto, physical gold and physical silver, you're holding something, so it can only be manipulated so far. Whereas something that doesn't exist, like a crypto, you can manipulate that to the end of time because it's not real, it's not tangible.
Yeah. Well, and So here, I'm going to do this. Pardon the noise. Okay, I have these because I'm going to be doing this on my live stream on Thursday. I've got 200 singles of dollar bills and then 100 $2 bills, and I'm going to be going through the serial numbers, right? Looking for errors and things like that. But you were talking about stacking cash. There's only 25 bucks. And it's like, would you stack cash and hold on to that? And it's like, no, maybe for toilet paper when I'm camping, right? Because the dollar is good if you're buying services and goods for now. But man, what's the dollar backed against? Nothing. What's the value of that paper if the Fed falls? Nothing.
Exactly right.
Gold, silver, platinum. There's a couple other ones, but I can't remember. So they're all, to me, they're unobtainium to me because I have a hard time getting any of them. But dollars, man, why? I mean, now if you're stacking something, now I've got my little dollar book here where I've got like things like this, right? I got the really large old bills and I got some of the smaller bills. They're the same dollar, just 5, 6, 7 years apart. One's 23, one's 35. So why do I keep those? Well, because they're historically cool, right? I don't have a lot of bills that are worth a lot of money, but they're really cool. And if you look at the size of those two, it was like, those are nuts. But they're really cool. And if you look,
I mean,
it was like,
in fact, I just forgot about this, but I think I'm a millionaire in Vietnam. I bought a bunch of their dong. And it's cool, it's collectible. And I bought it during the Trump administration because I thought maybe there would be more manufacturing coming out of that country. I should probably sell it, but it's fun to hang on to old currencies and historical currencies. But at the end of the day, it's paper. And I used to not be able to save a dime. That's how I got into stacking. I can save quote unquote money now. I'm doing the air quotes. But it doesn't excite me. It doesn't do anything for me. I mean, right now, I literally probably have $500 of cash in my safe. I have thousands of dollars worth of metals, and I'm going to start adding to that cash stack, which is really hard for me. And I got cash in the bank and cash in retirement accounts and the stock market. But unless my cash is making me more cash, unless it's going out there and bringing me back some of its friends, it just doesn't do much for me. I mean, it's just a total depreciating asset. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. And so I have the old adage, money burns a hole in my pocket, right? So if I get cash, I want to spend it. Because if something comes up, it's like, oh man, I don't want to have a bunch of credit. I don't want to have a whole bunch of debt and stuff like that. So if I have cash laying around, then I'm going to go open the safe. I'm going to pull it out. I want to pay that person with cash. So I keep stuff on hand for that purpose, or, I keep my money obviously in the bank and stuff like that, but I don't like to hold on to cash. Now, I have found that if I want to put, $500 or $1,000 a month away, if I go buy 3 or 4 of those 10-ounce bars, now I'm set. And that's going to sit there. That's money that it's not being spent. It's not going to be going anywhere. And so from that saving standpoint, I absolutely think that, stacking like that is definitely the way to go. Now, do I think the value that's in here, now these are cheap and they're not a lot of, they're not great quality, but do I think that the value in all numismatics is going to stay? No. I mean, this is like a roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it drops, right? And so just like everything, it's a gamble to keep stuff in this. But if the Fed economy falls, is the money going to be in? Is is the money going to be in the coin, the penny, the quarter, or is it going to be in the material it's in? And so I do this because I love it. I do it because I enjoy it. I love learning about the coins. I love learning about the errors. But if I'm stacking just as a savings, just as a safeguard, should something negative happen, then no, it's going to be gold and silver all day long.
It's so funny that you say the two things you just said. Number one, I was on the phone with Just Stack It last night, who hit 1,000 subs. So after he did his live, we talked on the phone, and what you just said at the end is where he's at too. He's like, he's like, I need to add more weight. I mean, he's got plenty of weight, but he's like, I need to add weight because I have a lot of numismatic stuff. And he goes, I don't think that's going to protect me as much. And so it's interesting that a lot of you collectors are kind of coming to that ideology, I guess. That's interesting to me. Funny timing. And then the first thing you said about the cash, see, I'm going to be, oh, this kills me. If I have cash, I like to either, get rid of it. I don't like holding on to it either. I like to put it in either a stock or a high yield savings account. I guess you could call it, 3.8%, whatever it is. Or, speaking of Just Stack It, what's up, dude? He's just joined the chat.
Hey,
and
are you available? Are you still having dinner with your kiddos? Just Stack It, or do you want to come in? Because if you want to come in, holler at me, and I'll fire up that link, and we'll bring you into this mix. Because we had there was a conversation the other day that was just like what we're having now, and I know you were just talking about that, but I definitely want to get his 2 cents.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and my new he's coming in, and my new gold strategy is going to force me to hold on to more cash, and that's going to hurt me. It's going to kill me inside because I don't want to put it into metal and then sell the metal for gold because I like holding on to as much metal as possible. So it's funny you mentioned that.
That's something that I've been trying to figure out is, do I joke with my wife, do I buy another safe or do I sell some of the silver? Now, I don't have anywhere near enough to do that and make it worthwhile, because I sell all my silver, I might be able to buy half an ounce of gold. Right. But I mean, I'm new to all of this, right? And I don't have that yet.
Again, your timing is funny, man. I literally sent Just Stack It a picture of my safe. I was like, dude, between my Second Amendment items, which I happen to love, and my silver, and there's a small amount of gold in there, but I was like, dude, look how packed this thing is. I need to buy a second safe, which is a good problem to have, but it's getting tight in there, man. That's so funny you say that.
Well, and that's, safety deposit boxes. That's where most of my stuff gets stored. And, it's like, if I stack any more of this, I'm going to have to. It's not going to be an option. But
that is a good problem to have, my brother.
Yeah. That God bless the Second Amendment. But I don't know. There he is. I see the man, the dream, the
How's
king
it going?
himself.
He's one of the big dogs now.
I don't know about all that. It's a happenstance. We're trying to work with
1,000 subs, dude.
in less than 90 days, which man, shorts. I mean, I didn't do them the first time around when I had my previous channel. They had just kind of come out. TikTok was really getting big. It was all new. And I never really bothered with it, but it's made a huge difference in my growth.
So I got shorts on, but I don't think that's going to help me at all, man.
and just so all of you watching know, these guys have their faces on, but I have a face for radio, if you know what I mean.
Well, okay, you can have my face if I can have your voice.
I don't know about that. Next on stage, we have Just Stack It. Put your hands together. I should work at a club, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. My voice just isn't deep enough for my liking, I think.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna do a special voice for my stuff. But if we're gonna talk about iconic voices, Sal, that dude, I don't care where you're at. I'll hear something come on and I'm like, that's Sal. I mean, certain voices. He's got He's got the cell. The other one that always gets me, and I can be flipping through them, is Rob. Rob finds treasure.
Yeah.
Yep.
He has got that energy in his voice, man. He's, oh man, look at this. Check it out. I got the
Yeah.
And it just makes me laugh because he's a great guy, just brilliant. But yeah, I don't have that voice. I just don't.
It's weird. You can work on it. I know when I first started YouTube, I always like to talk. I think that's kind of apparent, but I've gotten a lot better over time. When I first look back at my early videos, even like 8 months, I think later, I was like, whoa, I've gotten a lot better. And I don't even know where some of it came from. I didn't try super hard. I guess you just kind of learn what works and where you can trim fat, and it kind of works itself out. I still don't feel like I'm polished. I probably never will be. And I don't think you need to be. Constitutional and I were having an offline conversation about this the other day, and we feel that some of that gritty, just, I'm not saying anybody that's polished isn't authentic, but, having that grit and that kind of everyday kind of Joe authenticity really speaks volumes to a lot of people. And some people prefer that over, say, a more higher quality production with maybe a little more flair. So I don't know. I'll probably never be flashy, but I'm getting better at it for sure.
I don't edit. I mean, if you hear me cough, if I cough, you're going to hear it. You got to keep it 100%. And speaking of Sal, I don't know how many of you guys have actually gone back and watched Sal's original videos. And I actually went on this adventure. I'm going to tell you, it takes a long time to get to the bottom of that page because he's got so many videos. But he sounds so different now than he did when he started. So it's that whole polishing his voice, or not polishing, but that whole working on his voice and his presentation. Have you guys ever listened to his earlier stuff? It's totally different. It's crazy.
I can't say that I have.
But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I've gone through some of his stuff. I haven't really gone down the rabbit hole yet because there's so much information that I'm trying to absorb it. So I haven't done the down the rabbit hole on Sal's page yet, but I need to.
There's a feature that YouTube took out. You used to be able to go to a channel page, go to the video page, and then there was some filter options you could filter by, and one of those was earliest. And I hate that they took that feature away because it was a good way. You see somebody that has it all together, on YouTube, and you could easily go to their page and sort by earliest, whatever the earliest public stuff they still had up was, at least, and you could see how far they'd come. And I feel like that's important for other people and channels, people thinking about getting started or already on their journey. It's important to kind of see like, oh, this dude's first videos were horrible, but over time they got better. He got better. Look where he's at now, or they or them or whoever. But they took that feature away. And so now you literally have to scroll back and go back pages to try to find a lot of that earlier stuff, but it used to be really easy to find.
Well, Sal's got so many videos. I wonder if he broke that feature. Too many people were using it. I mean, he's got so many, but yeah, that would be useful for sure.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it. I mean, now with shorts, it's kind of weird because you can skew your numbers easily, but I mean, I kind of think about it, right? Like a TV show. 100 episodes is always like a big celebration for any, running TV show. And YouTubers do that on a regular basis, like a lot of them. But nobody thinks, in most cases, we're doing everything from the idea generation to the content production to the uploading and any other kind of support that may happen in there. It's most always like a one-person show, in terms of creating these things. So when a YouTube channel gets up over like 1,000 videos, that's a monumental achievement for that person or that channel.
Sure.
That I think really goes kind of unabated nowadays because nobody really pays that much attention to it, but it's huge. And Sal's probably closer to 1,000.
I'm going to do you guys okay. So I happen to remember one of the titles of one of his earlier videos, and I just went on his page and I just copied the link. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. If you guys want to go check out some of his earlier stuff, this is it, and you'll see it's totally different. So there's the link. I just dropped it in the chat in case you guys are curious. But he's really evolved over his delivery, I would say.
I'm taking a quick look at it now. I do like that intro. It's kind of plain, not plain, but simplified.
He had one intro where this dude is just like all these gold coins are coming out of his mouth for a while. Back in the day, I loved that one.
And look at that. 9 years ago, 177,000 views.
Yep.
Granted, that's a 10-year-old video, but his channel even now is only 57,000 whatever subs. So that's huge. You know, he got 4 times his current subscriber count on that one video.
So how are you and Frostbite going to feel when you look at your videos 10 years from now and it has 100 some odd thousand views? Is that going to be exciting or what?
Probably not.
So I look. So this is makes me laugh because we were talking about this earlier. I just had 10,000 views.
Wow!
I've been doing this for 30 days, and I was like, "Wow, that is so cool."
Good for you.
Because it's one of these things where, you know, I'm like, "Wow, that's nuts." And then I look at Coin Crew and their message this morning that said they had 1 million views. And it's like, damn, like 1 million views. And then you stop and you go, that's a ton. And then you think of people like Joe Rogan or Mr. Beast, you know, 200 million subscribers, right? It's like, how the hell? But you go back and you look at any YouTuber, you go back and look at any movie star, you look at any TV show personality, whatever, and you look at the earlier stuff and you look at where they're at now, it's growth, right? Every one of us is continuing to grow. And so will I look at it in amazement? I'll look at it in amazement in a month, and then 12 months, and then 2 years, and then 5 years, because I won't be who I am in a year from now. I'll be somebody different.
That's so true. I mean, this is not my first channel. This is my first channel that I think is going to be successful. But even on this channel, I go back and look at my first videos. My comfort on camera, you can hear it was not there. The video quality was terrible. Like, I bought a new camera, but just the comfort level and how things flowed. I mean, not that I'm great, not that I'm, you know, epic, because I'm nowhere near what I want to be, but just in that 3-month time of comparing from October 1st to now, man, I am not the same person. It's funny you say that because it's 100% true.
Yeah. So just like you were just saying 3 months. How long did you have the other channel?
The other channel, well, I still have it. I just haven't posted anything over there. And I had that one for, I think I was actually active for about 3.5 years. It's at like 2,100 something subs. And I'd have to pull it up and switch accounts, but I still get good views over there considering it's an almost dead channel. I rank #1 in Google search for about 6 really important topics that people are checking on. And so I still get revenue checks from that channel. It's slowed down a bit, but there for about 2 years, I was still getting $150, $200 every month from a channel I hadn't uploaded to in 2 years. So, that's one thing. If anybody is out there has a channel or is making content, you can do what you want, but a very big key on YouTube is to try to make evergreen content that hopefully will stay relevant for as long as possible. And so, like mine, I checked the other day just to kind of see how I was doing, and I still rank number one in Google search for like I think at least like 4 out of the 6 that I once ranked for, which is crazy. So that means when you type in certain keywords, my YouTube video is one of the first 3 things that pop up for that response in Google, which is worldwide. So I mean that's crazy. And it was a decent channel, but it's a lot of work. And I moved at one point after my divorce to a place where I didn't have a garage, and that just, it's hard to have a mechanics and tool channel when all your tools are in storage. So that's pretty much what killed the channel. And then by now, I just don't feel quite the same as far as trying to fire that back up. My garage that I do have is much smaller. I still do stuff, and I might resurrect the channel a bit, but it's very labor intensive. You take something like working on a car that already probably takes hours, and here in the Midwest where we have rusty bolts can take even longer if you run into a problem, and then go, I'm going to film it and I'm going to script it and then I'm going to edit the video, and it just turns into this huge undertaking where I was happy to do it. But now looking back on it is that the level of work that I want to put into something like a YouTube channel, I don't have the time in my personal life to really do it. So it changes, just like us and our stacks and everything else that we do. One day you might be all about collecting 10-ounce bars, and then you just have a mindset shift, and you're back to 1-ounce rounds, and maybe if premiums dropped, American Silver Eagles, things change over time. Like you said, you're not the same person a year from now that you are today. That's a good point for New Year's, right?
I was just thinking, I'm on here as a bullion guy with two coin experts, I would say. I think some people ought to, from the chat, I think they ought to connect and take this opportunity to pick our brains, not about coins, because I know nothing about, coins like you guys, but you guys got 2 really coin savvy guys on here right now, and a semi-savvy bullion guy. So I think some people ought to call in and connect. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and there's so I'm going to call out one of the viewers, Annette's in the line, and she is brand new to coin collecting, and she's, searching out. Annette, post in chat. Do you do metal detecting as well? Did I catch that from you? I think that was something. Anyway, so one thing that I like about this hobby is I like being able to give somebody the tools. And I want to be able to do it without saying, hey, come look at my channel. I'm giving away stuff. I want to be able to have people watch because of content, be interested in it. But she said she was new. And she was like, I need a coin scope. So I mailed her one. Right? Why? Well, let's stoke her interest, because she could be the person who stumbles on something that changes the value of an entire coin series, right? Like the person, I can't remember what, was it like a week ago where, what's the dude that always does the videos, and I subscribe to his channel, but I can't think of his name. It's not Couch Collectibles. He's the guy that always looks through the money and looks at the serial numbers.
I don't know that one.
Can't remember his name. I'll think about it in just a minute.
You mean Bills?
Yeah, primarily Bills.
Oh, yeah. I might not be familiar on that.
He's the one that's always like, go to Google, type in,
Is it the coin channel?
Huh?
Is it the coin channel? Because I know
I think it might be. I think that might be.
The guy that's all over the shorts talking about the different error coins.
Yeah,
and
he's always did this the short little video, and then he's like, "You got to see this. You got to check
Yeah.
it out."
Yeah. I think that is the coin channel.
Yeah, and so good content, right? But somebody posted that their grandmother had passed, and they found a 1943 penny. It was copper. So, I mean, what did that do for the coin thing, right? It sparked it, because it's like you don't know where you're going to find these things. So if you share information like that with people, and if you share these things with people, get them interested in doing it, and hook them up. I don't want people watching my stuff just because I give stuff away, but I want to be able to give stuff away if people are interested. You know what I mean? I want to be able to encourage somebody's hobby by saying, "Hey, you know what? Send me your stuff. I'm going to send you a $25 coin scope."
I don't know if you caught this in the chat. I've got food on the stove I got to tend to, and I got to do a quick restroom break. So I am here, but I will be gone for a few minutes. I'll be back.
Do me a favor. Press mute.
Yep. I'll be back in a few minutes, guys.
All right. So, Jeff Stackett, what are your plans for 2023? What do you want your channel to do?
Well, the channel, I'm not sure. I guess I don't put a whole lot of weight on this one, because I did early on in my other channel. I was, kind of hyper focused on seeing what I could do with YouTube. So on this one, I'm just kind of going with the flow. Obviously, the goal is to eventually get monetized. So we'll see how that goes. But as far as, like, I'm like you. I'm going to focus more on, I think, informing others, not market analysis per se in the terms of like stringent data, but it's like Sal kind of does them. I think he does his in like live stream format, where he'll do like a weekly, I think it is, where he just goes over the markets, talks about what they think the next week is going to bring, and some stuff like that. So general market analysis. And then I'm going to try to obviously continue to hunt coins and bring that information and those finds out to people. But I'm going to try to drill down a bit more on the information, because like you were saying earlier, you never know who you're going to influence. My channel may cap out, I don't know it, 2,000 subs, and that just may be where I ride. But the person with the new largest coin channel on YouTube, just say, might be somebody that gets into my live streams and then starts collecting and stacking and doing things from there. And, maybe we are influencing someone who maybe we are not the ones with the direct influence ourselves, but the people who we have an effect on might be. So I'm gonna try to focus on information and providing the best content I can, but I'm gonna try to drill down more to the educational side of it. I'll still have live streams and other things for more like hanging out and the fun aspect of it. But as far as the videos and things, I'm really going to try to step my game up to answer questions people have, to really provide those bits of information that people go, "Oh, great. Now I don't have to look silly asking a coin dealer about this. I could, I've watched this video. I feel like I have a good basis and I can go in there and talk and not feel like, I'm behind the curve." So that's more what I'm going to focus on, I think, this year. Before I jumped back in to the stream and then was able to come up, I was actually getting a script. I'm trying scripting. I was getting a script kind of final polished and getting ready to shoot a video today, actually, this evening. So it's weird, though. You got to time and fluctuations. Sometimes it can be a lot to manage, and that's why I'm going to try to drill down. So I'm not going to focus on putting out videos consistently. I'm going to focus on putting out consistently good videos, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I'm
So
back.
what about you? What are your plans for 2023?
So what I want to do is I want to look at what is it that uh, what is it that people want to know about. So I want to look at things like there's a lot of interest from that henning nickel, right? And looking at things like the counterfeiting. I've heard a lot. There's a lot of on the channels. There's across the entire stream. There's a lot of information about counterfeiting, and I want to look at what do these coin experts know just by the fact that they're doing this that the common schmo like me wouldn't know unless I'm actually working with them or that I'm engaged with them, right? Um, because it's easy to look at, and I again I work in process improvement. Hold on just a minute. Excuse me. I work in process improvement, and having done things like tech support over the years, or coaching, or teaching, or mentoring, and things of that nature. What we tend to do as humans is we tend to talk about what we know at the level in which we know it at. And we don't always go, okay, so I'll give you an example. You call in and you have a computer issue, okay? And it's like, so right click on your desktop. Okay, so what does that mean to you? Well, it means that I'm going to grab the mouse and I'm going to push the right mouse button and then a menu is going to come up. Okay. True story. I told somebody to right click on their desktop and they're like, how in the hell is that going to help me resolve my problem? It doesn't work. I do it, and there's nothing there. And it said, and this is not a joke. This is 100% serious. I said, send me a picture. And there was click on, like he took a pen and wrote click on his desktop. Right? So it made me, no, it's the makings of a wonderful joke, but it's 100% serious.
That's pretty
And
literal.
so when I had that happened to me, I stopped and went, I need to think about how I'm talking to people. I need to think about what I'm saying. So when you look at your screen, if you take the mouse, the thing that moves the little cursor, the little pointy thing around on your screen, there should be two buttons and a ball in the middle. On the right-hand side, you should use your second finger, your birdie finger, and click that button. A menu should pop up. Yes, it does. Now I have adequately walked them through a process. So what I want to do when it comes to things like identifying counterfeits, or when it comes to those things, is actually walking them through the step-by-step minutia that a lot of these professionals forget about because they do it day to day. So I want to look at education at the 6th grade level, so to speak. Not that I'm talking below anybody, but I want to speak to a level that everybody understands.
No, and you're completely right. Everybody's comprehension level is different, and it's based on their experiences. So I've had to do this in my technical background as well, where either I'm trying to gain knowledge from somebody and they're just way over me, and I got to literally tell them, hey, dumb this down. Like, wait, I'm not getting what you're putting down. Let's rephrase this or something. And then I've had to, when I was a maintenance technician actually taking calls, I'd respond to a machine that I know very well. And rather than asking them, like a lot of people would want to tell you what they think needs fixed, right? They'd be like, oh, the robot's messing up again or whatever. It needs X, Y, and Z. Rather than even going through that process, I would say, okay, tell me what it's doing or what it's not doing. I would take their whole part out of it. You give me the information, and I would still consider that information suspect until proven otherwise. But you really do. You have to adjust based on the knowledge and experience of the people that you're speaking to. And that's one of the things that makes this very hard, because there's people of all skill levels. So you have to get a middle ground in there.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about tech support is a great venue for leading into a page like this, because you have to learn how to understand what's being asked versus what is actually the intent of what they're asking. And so that's why, I've reached out to the people that, or in my latest short, which was, tell me what interests you, right? I want your honest feedback, because if I can find there's a lot of people that are interested in a certain subsection of this hobby, I'll look it up, I'll research it, I'll do what I can find, I'll do what I can to find what it is. And if not, I'll reach out to the community and say, hey, you're really good at this. I want to have this discussion. Let's get a panel and let's talk about this. And I don't mind coordinating that. And I don't mind coordinating it on somebody else's channel. I don't need all the accolades in this. What I want to do is I want to give information. And if people want to go to me or come to me as a source, then outstanding. Do I want this channel to grow? Do I want to get to the 1,000 subs? Do I want to get monetized? If you said no, you're lying, because who doesn't want money by doing something they're enjoying? Is it my primary focus? No, my primary focus is to give good, usable information to people and help them understand what's really cool about this hobby. So that's my goal in 23, and to tell a lot more stupid dad jokes.
All right, Constitutional, what about you? What are your 2023 goals for yourself and your channel?
First of all, what you guys were saying about breaking things down. I did a poll on my community tab not long ago, and I was blown away by the fact that I asked how long people have been stacking. It was 5 years or more, 2 years or more, 1 year or more, and 6 months or 1 year or less. And overwhelmingly, the people who watch me selected 1 year or less. So I realized that, I could be on there saying something like, why would I buy a coin or why would I buy a round? And then I realized maybe some people don't know the difference, right? So I once I became aware of that, I started breaking things down, because what's funny, for like the first 3 years I was stacking, I didn't know the difference between a coin and a round. I had no idea. I knew they were both 1 ounce, pieces of silver, and they were, in a certain shape, and that's what I knew. So I find it interesting that you bring that up. Now, I'm going to get a little bit heavier on gold, as some of you know, and I'm going to do it a very specific way. That's going to be part of my channel goals. I really, really, really want to hit that 1,000 sub mark by the end of the year, and it's that gives me a whole year to do it. So I think that can be done. I was actually getting kind of frustrated that I was losing subs after every video, and I was going to take a break, but just Stack It over here and another unnamed individual by the name of Savage Stacker, which will end up being named, kind of got me thinking that that's the wrong approach. I just need to suck it up and quit whining and keep grinding and doing it.
Okay, so let me interject there with a specific example. On my last channel, I put out this video, and it wasn't revolutionary knowledge. It was general knowledge that a lot of people kind of already knew, but it was new in the fact of the context and some other things. But for most anybody else, they would just go, well, yeah, duh. That's everybody knows about that. But I put out this video. It got me hate. It still gets comments to this day about hate of how dumb it was for me to even make the video. But it's the second most viewed video on that channel, or at least it was for the longest time. I don't know about now. But I looked back at it the other day. I made not a ton of money, but a decent amount of money off that video that got hate. Now, I don't subscribe to doing that on a regular basis, but the information in the video was valid. And for some people, I'm sure it was useful, but the majority of people didn't think so. But I got a lot of hate for that. But I mean, you can't please everybody. You got to do what you do. And even if you bore 10 people, but you really help one and answer a question they were just dying to get information on, I think it's worth it.
And by the way, if I'm talking over the two of you, for some reason I'm not able to hear you guys talk in my Bluetooth I'm on, so I apologize in advance.
Do you hear us at all? No, he can't hear us at all.
At all?
No, it's weird.
Well, sorry, I know I kind of interjected there, but yeah, it's important. You're going to make well over 1,000 by the end of the year. It took you how long? About 3 months to get to 5 something?
October 1st.
Okay, yeah. So extrapolate that and consider that growth is a curve. Yeah, you'll be well over. We'll be talking about 1,000 in probably 3 months.
That would be ideal. But either way, I'm having fun with it, and I'm reaching a lot of people, and that's my primary target. That's my goal.
So you said gold. What form of gold? Because I mean, gold encompasses a lot. Some people buy ridiculous things like a gold katana, which is awesome. I'm not saying that, but things like that come at a premium. What kind of gold are you stacking?
Well, now I want a gold katana. Thanks.
Call Kevin Rose.
I have a video coming out about the specifics. I've already given away too much because I want people to watch it, but it's mostly going to be, and anybody who knows me knows that I don't care if it's government mint, I don't care if it's private mint, as long as it's authentic and legitimate. That's what I care about. Now, it is hard to find private minted gold right now, so I'm probably going to end up buying government just because of that. But it's more of a goal of how much gold I'm buying at a time and what I'm not buying. It's more of a weight goal, and it's different than what I'm used to. So it's going to force me to step outside my comfort zone.
So are you going to be looking at things like the GSR to look for potential opportunities to maybe trade some silver in for gold when it's an opportune time?
A lot of guys play the gold silver ratio. I never really have, mostly because what are you drinking there, Frostbite? Mostly because I love my metal so much. My goal is never to get rid of any metal. I know that sounds odd, even if it's trading up. Like I traded some fractional gold for some 1 ounce gold, but I feel like that was an even trade. If I give up silver for gold, yeah, it makes sense financially, but that's still less silver I have. So maybe I should cut costs, work harder, and save more cash to buy more gold and keep all my silver too. I know that's an interesting outlook, but I get attached to my metals, guys. I do.
It's a personality.
What about you, Frostbite? Any pieces you're trying to acquire in the near future?
Gold katana.
So I want to get my silver stack up. Start looking at. I mean, I have like 3 loves right now. So I collect gemstones. So there's a lot of decent money in gemstones. I haven't really bought too many of those because it's pretty volatile. They come and go. But I do have some ones that from like 20 years ago that are pretty good.
Machine that I never became aware of that. I started breaking things down because it's pretty volatile. They come and go. But I do have some ones that I just the machine that I never became aware.
So you were saying,
I don't know if he can hear us or not.
No, it sounds like he got caught up in something.
Yeah.
What did I miss there again? I missed something.
Well, he's always working. That's if you learn anything about constitutional.
Well, he's off today.
Is he?
Yeah, he's off today. He said he was taking the
Okay.
day off. He wasn't doing that. I think it's his Bluetooth that's acting up.
Okay.
I am off. However, I did get a call from the CEO today at like 9:30, which sucked because I go to bed till like 6 in the morning. And he's like, "Hey, we got a situation. I was thinking maybe you could come in. I could put an extra few $100 in your pocket. You could help me resolve it." I'm like, "Dude, I need a day." He hasn't called me back, so I think I'm in the clear.
That's good. Hey, if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you're putting stuff in chat so that like getting credit for the view time. Otherwise, it doesn't get counted towards me. So I appreciate it if you do that.
Speaking of that, Da Vinci has a question for you there. Just stack it.
Yeah, I see it. I can't remember, and now I'm knocking coins off. I think I put Kevin's cards up, but it's Kevin Rose. The E has an accent over it, so it looks like Kevin, but it's actually Kevin. And he made this. I'll show you the whole thing. Not like it's a sales pitch for him, but he makes stuff, and I know the camera doesn't want to focus on it, but it's 6 point something gram, almost 7 gram solid gold katana, and the stand there is made out of 5 grams of antique silver. He also made this bracelet that I'm wearing, which is 2 ounces of silver. One's rolled out into the bracelet itself, and the other one is a round that's then attached to the bracelet. He makes a lot of nice stuff, and he's in and around. You can find him pretty easily if you're in and around the community. And if you ever really want to, check out one of my videos. My email, I believe, is in every description. And then you can get a hold of me and I'll get you in contact with him. But yeah, he made this not long ago, and I picked it up for what I consider to be a good bargain. But, stuff like that comes at a premium. So it was more just because I like Japanese culture and Oriental things of all nature, that when I saw that, I just had to have it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you with Japanese samurai culture. I think it's amazing historically. Cool
I
stuff.
don't know what they're called, and it's deep in my stack, so I couldn't pull it out if I wanted to. But do you know the little I want to say they're Japanese, like bars, the silver bars that they used for coins, in like probably what was their Middle Ages. I forget what they're called, but I actually have a graded one that I picked up from a coin dealer. I walked in and I saw that, and you can get them for next to nothing, but this one is just, it's in such great shape. It looks like the day it was made. There's no wear on it or anything. I paid a hefty premium for a few grams of silver, but because I like that culture, again, it was well worth it. And I have a great.
Are you talking Chibu silver?
The little, they're the rectangular bars.
Yeah,
It's like a coin.
I wonder if you're talking about Chibu. It's CHIBU. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Is it Chibu?
Yeah, because I know a little bit about everything, but not everything about anything. So
Chibi?
That's funny.
Maybe it's Chibi, not Chibu. No, those are the little chibi characters. I'm called Chibu, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong.
if my typing is loud, I apologize. It's the little ones here. This looks like one. This one here is PCGS graded.
It's not the Ansei, right? The and SEI.
They're calling them shoe. Like the ones I'm looking at are called Bunsei, Shu, Nanro.
Yeah, I don't know.
They call them samurai coins. It was the coins they would use. They were given to spend, and they're like little square. But I got a graded one of those, and it's just like you were saying. I really like the Japanese.
Oh I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I just have to look it up.
Yeah. So I saw one of those in a coin shop, and it didn't matter how much they wanted for it because I asked them to look at it first, but then when I really saw how good of shape it was in, and the fact that it was slabbed and graded, I was just like, yep, whatever, let's do it. So I paid. I don't even want to know how much I paid per gram, but I think it's like 5 gram weight, maybe. So, and it was over $100 for the purchase. So, sometimes you see stuff like that, and it just depends on what you're into. So, you have to treat yourself every now and again. Plus, things like that you just see that aren't going to come up often. I don't know. At least that's what I tell myself to sleep at night while my bank account yells at me. But
So Da Vinci says, I don't know if you guys caught this in the chat. He says, I'm staying home to drink. I'm not a people person. There's this bar I go to after work that has killer food. And I was in there the other night and I wanted a burger, man. And there's just all these drunken idiots. And I'm just like, man. And, they all know me there. And the bartender's like, you going to hang out? I'm like, no, there's too many people. I get it, Da Vinci. I get it.
Yeah. Dealing with people is like being multitasker. I have zero problem multitasking as long as I can do it one thing at a time.
that's hilarious.
He's like,
And
okay,
when you work 7 days a week with the public, you despise it more, I think.
Well, cool. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I've been online for about 3 hours, and my wife is probably wondering where in the world I disappeared to.
Well, hey, man, I came in late to the game, but thanks for letting me on here. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Hey, no, thank you guys for joining. Just stacking. I appreciate you popping on.
Yeah, of course.
We're doing stuff with you. I'd like to do some collabs with you guys later on.
Oh yeah, for sure. We can definitely do that. I like your format, and you just have more knowledge than I do about a lot of things, like the error coin. Well, not the error coins, but the counterfeit coins, especially ones in slabs. That's like one of my biggest fears. That's why when I bought my 1916D Merc dime, I did so from one of my LCSs, and I know I kind of got gouged on the price, but I just had to know it was going to be fine. Even if something comes up later, I have the receipt. I can go back to them and go, hey, what happened? And, there's going to be a resolution. But yeah, that's something that can scare a lot of people is when you find out like, oh, that's a way to guarantee it's authentic. And then you find out people are counterfeiting that. And it's real. It can be very scary for someone new. And I have no information about that. So seeing what you offer in terms of knowledge for that is immensely helpful for even someone like me.
Yeah. So this is my farewell joke, because this coin, the 1877 Indian head penny is by far one of the coolest coins. But when you look at the date, right? I mean, I know a 5-year-old kid that can draw lines straighter than this.
So, but what was that? Do we know? Is that like they made a 7 over something, or like what?
So this is a counterfeit coin.
But is the coin real or
No,
doctored,
no.
or is it completely counterfeit?
Yeah. So let me show. It's completely counterfeit. Like,
oh, okay.
This, and it's not. It's not even a good counterfeit. It's absolute. It's so I showed this one, and I think I spent like $5 to get it. But I did this for a very specific reason, and one of the reasons that I did this was I wanted to show people that there are certain things that you want to look at. So the biggest one, what you're seeing on the screen right now, is the counterfeit coin. Okay, so you can see that the 1 cent, everything is very clear. It's very well punched. It's very clearly defined. We won't get into the font being off a little bit. It's really close. The font is off just a little bit, but the issue is this right here. So I'm going to present my screen real quick, and I'm going to show you this. Now, this is through AppMex. Okay, so let me know when you guys can see my screen. Okay,
I
so
see it.
this is an authentic 1877. And what I want you to look at is right here. Okay. Do you see that N?
Yeah.
See how soft that N in one is?
Yeah, it looks like it's worn away, right?
Yep. So this is a die issue, and it's within the 1877s. So now, if you take this one, and let me do this. Oops, that's the wrong camera. I want to show this one. So if you take this one, you can see how solid that N is.
Yeah.
Right? That is one of the defining characteristics of this particular coin. But when you look at the date on the other one, so let me get back to this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Oh, I hate it when it does this. There you go. Do you see how the date is?
Okay, yeah.
Look at the 7. Okay, you see the 7s there? Now, okay, now look at the 7s in this one.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I knew they looked off, but now that I see it.
Yeah, so this down here should be nice and fat. It should be wide. I forget, you can't see what I'm pointing at my screen. Eventually I'll remember that I'm not sharing my screen. But if you look here, you can see how kind of wonky and narrow this is. And this should be fat and then come to a head and not come here and then come diagonally. This should actually be like a big bulbous end and then narrow across the top here.
Yeah.
But it kind of comes across and comes diagonal. Let alone, it shouldn't be rounded. This should come up and have sharp edges and then point back down.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like a serif on the front of the 7. There's not much of one because of how fat it is, but they are there.
Yes.
You can even see, look how much fatter the top of the last 7 is than the one next to it. Like,
yeah. So when you look back at this one, it's really clear. I mean, you can see that there's a definite, because when you just look at that, you can see how much thicker that is, how much cleaner it is. But again, the defining factor in this one is that N, right? And so these are the specifics. This is what I want to show people. So yeah, I'll spend a couple bucks to get a fake coin, a counterfeit coin. Now, I will not buy a coin. Now, let me clarify this. I will not buy a coin that they pretend is genuine.
Oh, yeah.
Just so I have a counterfeit one. I will only buy it if they say it's a replica. Right? I'm not going to buy a counterfeit coin. Now, I did it accidentally with my trade dollar, and I wanted everybody to understand how I screwed up. But the gentleman that I bought it from, him and I talked, and he didn't know that it was fake because he had bought one that was in better condition and he was in the typeset book. And I said, hey, we need to talk. And we actually got online and talked about it. And I told him what's going on. He went and took his to a coin store. And they're like, no, this is fake as well. He ended up returning that one. And he's like, well, crap. Now it makes me wonder which coins I have are real. And so it just went to the fact that I needed to share with people the fact that, there are people that are genuinely selling stuff that they don't know is fake.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so I want those people. Now, if you're a counterfeiter and your intent is malicious and you're ignorant and you want to do that, then I'm going to do everything I can to take you down. I'm going to report you. I'm going to report it to eBay. I'm going to have them check every one of your listings. I'm going to be calling NGC. I'm going to be calling PCGS. I'm going to be calling Annex. I'm going to be reporting those numbers. If I know you're doing it maliciously, I'm going to do everything I can to take you down.
Yeah, there's a number somewhere. I saw something somewhere on that where you're actually, when and if you find counterfeits, especially like slabbed ones, you're supposed to call and like alert NGC and PCGS so that they can then make a case. But the majority of people do not, right?
Yeah. So what I did is after the one where we talked about this coin, which was the Double Eagle, the 1907 that they put into the NGC holder. Right now, this constitutional just took off. Thanks for coming in, brother. Thank you for being here. This coin cost me like $30. Now, that's to have it encapsulated as well. They made this encapsulation because what he wanted to show me is just how easy it is to do it. And so there are things on this coin that are absolutely wrong, right? The label's wrong, the information's wrong, the date down here is wrong for this particular
Who
coin.
made that for you?
I won't give his name out.
Oh, like a person though.
A person, yeah.
Like just a guy, not like NGC's making this like this.
No.
Okay. So
But what we did is we contacted, I got with Coin Crew and I got with his brother and we reported it. Gave him the number, told him exactly what's going on. Because even though this one was done like it is, it's still, they have this number, they have this image.
yeah.
And so it needs to be removed. And so what I'm doing is I want people to understand that now I did something else on purpose. And there's a barcode here. If they scan the barcode, it points to PCGS.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
And
they're gonna know something's
it
up.
points to a $50 gold buffalo. So the coin has like 1,000 ways it's proven to be wrong. And so, but I wanted to prove a point. If somebody wants to do this, they can do it quite easily.
That's scary.
And so this is why I want, again, tactile, it's in the hand, right? This is what you're looking at. These are the items. Because if you see a picture, it's like, okay, cool. He's talking about it. What is he talking about? What is he pointing at? I don't understand. I'm not following. And so there you go. Constitutional. You should be able to come back in now.
That's crazy.
That's what I want to get. That's what I want to do, right? Now,
yeah, I thought you had that professionally made or something by like someone for an example. I didn't catch that originally. That was made by just a guy.
Yeah. So what I did is I reached out to a guy that was selling these coins. Now, I have told him, and I put it in an email, and I said, I want you to understand something. You have listings on a certain site. Everything now I'll show you. I'm going to do something, but I'm going to hide the specifics. Because, and I told him, I said, I need you to understand something, that if these particular, and I gave him like 6 or 7 of them, you have something listed there that you say real, but then you have all the fake information below, and you need to be. I need you to understand that if this isn't corrected, I'll be reporting it as such. So I get that you're a hobbyist. I get that you want to do this, but you need to be. You can't be saying a real coin. And as of yesterday, all of those listings were resolved.
Good.
Because it's like, look, I understand that you have a hobby. I understand that you have a thing you want to do, but yeah, no, this isn't cool. I'm trying to find one of the coins, and I can't find it.
Hmm.
It's not allowing me. I'm having an issue connecting.
Yeah, I know all about that. but now that I'm back, I can actually hear you guys in my Bluetooth, so everything's working like it should.
Good.
You know, it's funny. You talked about people who sell counterfeit stuff not knowing, and I had a buddy of mine that I've known for 30 years. We grew up together, and he came in one day and he's like, "Man, check it out! I just bought this gold bar," and he puts it in my hand and he goes, "Do you want to buy it?" I said, "No." He goes, "Why not?" I go, "Because that's not gold." And he legitimately thought he had a gold bar, and he got it tested after I told him that, and it turns out it was counterfeit. But he legitimately had no idea.
I
It
don't
happens.
I don't know what the coin is, but my neighbor, he's into preparedness, we'll just say. And so then we get to talking on similar topics, and I started asking him if he had, if he was, stacking some sort form of silver. Geez. And so we got on topic, and then one day he goes, I do have this gold coin that I got from Saudi Arabia, and I'm like, what? Like that? What is that? And so I started like kind of contemplating what that would be, and he's like, no, it's a U.S. coin, but I bought it while I was stationed in Saudi Arabia. Da da da. He showed me this thing, and I'll see if I can borrow it from him one day. The only thing I can think of is, if it is real, which I highly suspect that it's not, is they plated it in gold to make it look better. That's the only thing I can think of, because all the details are washed out. It looks like a real coin that somebody gold plated on top of for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's
And I
probably
don't.
like copper or tungsten, maybe.
It's like one of the 1 ounce golds from like the 1800s. Again, I don't know my coins from that era. I'll see if I can borrow it from him. But you could just tell by looking at it. And I pulled up some, pictures on the internet and showed him. And I'm like, look, dude, this is a real one. Look at yours. You see how it's all washed out? It looks like it's been coated in gold, maybe. And he's like, yeah, but he's going to go take it and get it actually tested, but I'm pretty sure it's not. But the good news is he bought it a long time ago when prices were much lower, and, he's not really out as much.
That sucks.
But yeah, when you think you have an ounce of gold and it turns out you don't, that's a bad.
And it's funny because when I told you about that gold trade I did the other day, I got all my gold that I traded in from Hero and SD, and I take it to my LCS and I test it. He goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I don't need to test your gold." I said, No. I have no reason to think it's not legitimate, but I want you to test it. Mm-hmm. So he tests the kangaroo I bought. He's like, "Okay, yours is real." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then he tested it all, and it all checked out. But man, you can never be too safe.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you my screen. So what you're seeing here is that Morgan dollar that I just showed you.
Uh-huh.
This is the details that he lists on his site. Okay. So it tells you it's a replica. It tells you that this is the weight. It tells you the diameter, the thickness. It tells you the orientation it's the coin flip. It's not the other one, right? Tells you what the grade is. Now this is where it gets sticky, right?
No, wait. Oh, okay. I'll let you go ahead.
So, but this is what I'm talking about. So they tell you that it's a replica of this coin.
It's a replica. Is it really silver, 90% and 10% copper?
So this is where some of them are, no, it's not.
Okay, yeah, because I get the whole thing about the grade. Obviously, that's
so. This is a screen capture that I took of one of the items, and I'm like, look, this, you're lying. That's
And
not a silver coin.
he even says at the bottom, perfect for your collection.
Yeah.
Why would you put a replica in your collection? No,
Yeah.
granted,
And so-
I have a replica V nickel proof style, but it legitimately says copy on it. I bought it knowing it was a copy. It's just kind of cool to look at. I didn't pay much for it.
I mean, on the first line it says replica, which means fake, and then material 90% silver, 10% copper. Well,
which is a lie.
If
It's not.
if it's a replica, that's a lie. And then and then like you just said, great for your collection. The collection of what? Fake bullion? I mean, I don't want that kind of collection.
Oh, red herring. That's the thing. I have a listing, and I know you got to go, and I won't keep you, but I have a listing of die chips and some error coins that I've actually put up on eBay. But because there's so many people out there trying to sell error coins that aren't really error coins, or die chips or whatever variations they think they've made up in their head, I feel like that listing's kind of gotten buried, just because if you really look, there are so many people out there trying to sell pennies for $50 because they'll tell whoever's looking at the listing, oh, it's a ultimate rare error. I saw one where I forget what year it was, but on the pennies, there's some years where they actually put the Philadelphia mint marks on the front. And I saw someone selling one of those as an error coin. This wasn't supposed to happen, blah, blah, blah. No, it happened for all of them in those years. But yeah, the error coins and things like that, it's really hard because it's just flooded. Like Etsy and Mercury and a lot of these places, people are literally trying to get rich selling pocket change as something special,
Yeah, so I'm going to share something else with you guys. Now, one of the comments that was just stated is that if you, that's one of the reasons that they wanted to do away with this, or why they're afraid of getting into numismatics, is that they're afraid of all the counterfeits. Okay, now there's more to it than that, guys. I need you guys and gals, right? I need you to understand when you're looking. So I pulled this up off of Etsy. That's a 1 troy ounce 0.99 fine silver bar.
Replica. And if you look at it,
silver plated brass.
weighs.
Silver plated brass.
Now
right?
wait. Okay.
At least they're telling people though. Like you go on Wish and they'll tell you you're buying American Silver Eagle, and they won't even tell you it's fake, but it's $3, which should be, an indication. But yeah, you got to be careful.
So buy from trusted sources.
Yeah, I only buy certain things from certain people for that reason. Like the Johnson Matthey 1 ounce bars, I was at my LCS, and I think I sold a couple of these, not for much, but I did sell a couple of them. I still have a couple, but they were in the lollipop, so they're in the plastic, so they're not tarnished. They're brilliant white, and they were in their not junk silver bin, but their generic bullion.
Hey, now don't be calling me junk.
And I wanted them, right? I wanted them. They had like 4 of them or something, and it was for whatever they're selling generic bullion at. So I was like, give me all of those, but I want you to test them first. And they're like, oh, what? And I'm like, just please test them. It'll make me feel better. Because they're in the lollipops and because they're blast white, Johnson Matthey hasn't existed for how long? So I'm like, if you look up on Wish or I forget, Alibaba Express or whatever, all those other Chinese, Johnson Matthey 1 ounce silver bars in the lollipop are one of the things that they can counterfeit, like you were just showing there. And that's another thing. A lot of times to make up for that weight difference, like you were, the one you showed there said it was actually in the listing at the bottom, it claimed the weight was 29.9 grams. So that would not be right. But if they put that same thing in a big, thick plastic lollipop, it might make up enough for it to where someone not realizing would throw that on a scale and go, yeah, it weighs. So I'm very weary of lollipops now. I will, unless if I have any thoughts, I'll cut them out and then, test them or do whatever I need to do to try to check them because I want.
And what's scary about gold is that when they use tungsten and they plate it with gold, it has almost the same density and weight and gravity as gold, and it can even trick the sigma, which is scary.
It depends on how thick they plate it.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, there's a lot of hacks out there.
Yeah.
All right. So you know what? There's only 7 people online. Do me a favor, okay? Oh, 6 people. Somebody just fell off. Y'all suck. I'm just kidding. So if we can get 25 people on real quick, I'm going to give something away. 1998 uncirculated set.
I put it in my community tab about a half hour ago for people to come join in, but I'll put another one.
We've got. I'll give this 7 minutes. We get 25 current users.
We'll try to. I'll put it out.
I'll put it out too.
Easy peasy. And I'll just do.
Give away.
And we'll just use a random number generator. And then we'll have you guys, we'll do like 1 to 5,000 or something. And we'll figure out who's closest. Do you guys know how to do the comment thing?
It depends. Like you're talking people comment a certain thing and then you pull them.
Yeah.
I knew how to do that a long time ago, but I'm sure it's changed. And I never did it on a live stream. I'd only do it on videos. So I would always go to like random comment picker. I would type that in Google and go to wherever that led me. And it seems a lot very similar to like the random number generator sites. And you'd have to paste the video URL or link and then filter by what comments you're looking for. Great, but it works about the same from what I understand.
I'll even put it on Twitter. Why not?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Constitutional Stacker and myself have actually joined Twitter since we think that someone's in charge that may be a little more fair. And so we're going to try to hang out over there and see if we can provide tips and tricks. And I mean, Twitter's a very limited format. Constitutional seems better at it than I am. But we're giving it a shot, though. I looked at the one you had.
It's funny too. Like I've gotten subs from Twitter, I think, but I think some of them are bots. So I think YouTube has gone through and removed some, which kind of makes sense.
So how are we doing? I just put it out on my community tab, but
me too.
That doesn't mean a whole lot. It depends on who's currently doing what, and it is New Year's, and it is getting late. At least here on the East Coast, it's 8. So, New Year's for time zones is weird, right? Because I'm always on the East Coast, and I see the ball drop at midnight in Times Square, and that's normal. So when you guys see the ball drop, it's like, what, 9 o'clock? Constitutional?
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, it would be.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Because
at least if something bad happens at midnight, I'll have 3 hours notice because it'll happen to you guys first.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So we celebrate New Year's in like Hong Kong. So it's almost over now.
Yeah. Wait, where do you live?
I'm just joking around, man.
Oh. I was like, wait, what?
Did you know they say it's 5 o'clock somewhere? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, I got it.
Yeah, don't be surprised though. There's a guy who has a video on YouTube tips, and he at some point moved to like the Philippines, I think it is, or Thailand, one or the other. And he does his normal YouTube thing, but he lives there now, and it's to watch his videos, you'd never know. And everything seems fine. But then when he did like there for a while, he was doing like vlogs and stuff. And he's like walking around, and I was like, wait, where is this dude at? He just was like, yep, nope, I can do this from anywhere, and that's going to be the Philippines.
Yeah.
Like,
smart.
That's really
Cheaper.
cool.
So Da Vinci said, I joined Twitter just for the tears. That's funny. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to make it. I don't know who else is streaming right now either. I know it's the weekend, so a lot of the auctions are rolling, probably.
I know
Yeah,
Big
I
Flip's got
expect,
one going.
He's got one coming, yeah, I think in a few more minutes. He's got an auction starting.
JV Coins is on.
We're up to 10, though, it looks like.
They're on.
We grabbed a
Yeah,
couple.
we've gained 3.
There we go.
We'll just whoever's here at.
Yeah, we can make it worth your while, and then we can next time we do one, we can team up and I'll offer something up. And,
Yeah, me too. Have to put me down. Yeah.
I mean, and it doesn't ever have to be anything large. I mean, a lot of times I give away gram bars or dimes or sometimes even clad coinage. It just depends on what I got. People generally are just happy to receive something and kind of be a part of the process. I don't think they ever have to be spectacular or plentiful. It's nice if they are, but.
Well, I feel like if they support us, we should support them. It's a good community, give and take,
Yeah.
We'll give it 3 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and I'll just do the random number generator since there's only a few of us here.
I'll accept candy from strangers, he says. Yeah, if I ever disappear, you guys, okay? If I ever disappear, I want you to know. It's either because I tell the truth and they came for me, or there was a van that said free bullets or free gold and silver, and I was a victim, and I fell victim, and I went in. I fell prey.
I was just thinking about that. We need to make that meme because I've seen it redone for just about everything, like mechanics. The van says free 10mm sockets, right?
Or free snap-on tools.
Right? So I've seen all of those, but I can't think of one of those that's been done for like silver or gold.
You're right. We should create a meme.
Yeah, it won't last long, but it'll make me laugh.
That's funny, dude. I like it.
We could do you know how they have the hey, they got Staples and Staples, and then they show the other stores.
Ooh, you know what would be super sweet? Actually rent a van. Find a van to rent. Go to a coin show, like some regional coin show. Park that van in the parking lot, spray paint on the side, free silver inside, and see who comes up, and whoever does come to inquire, actually give them a free ounce of silver.
You'd have a line before too long. You'd have
That'd
to
be
do
funny.
it for a very, very short time frame because, something like that, a quick text and 50 people are at the van.
Yeah, true. They're giving away free silver.
Yeah, but that would be hilarious.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Or take a red balloon at one of the storm drains and say, silver down here.
Hiya, Georgie. They float, Georgie. They all float. Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Okay, I'm going to say start. I want everybody to enter a number in 1 to 100. If there's a duplicate, I'll call you out. And I'll tell you when. All right. If you guys haven't already done so, hit that like button before we do. Ready? Okay. So go ahead and enter a number between 1 and 100.
Uh-oh.
1 and 100.
You're braver than me.
And only enter one, please. Okay, so I'm only seeing 6. We had 11 people. Now we only have 9. So there's 3 people that are watching that haven't entered it. I'll give you just a few more moments.
Well, actually,
I'm one of those.
so it looks like we're at 8 because me and Just Stacking aren't playing, I don't think.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That would just be wrong.
Okay.
Come on, someone's got to get it.
Let's see. So there's 7 people. I should have one more. Okay. All right. We'll just do this. Okay. I didn't even need to say stop because there's so few of us. Okay. Let me share my screen. What in the world is going on? No, my browser just shut down. Hold on. Are you guys still there?
Yes, we are.
Oh, Stacker just dropped off. So I was trying to figure out what was going on.
Did he?
All right,
Looks like he's here.
Oh, he fell off and I had to let him back in.
Oh.
Okay, so 1 to 100. It says 5 right now, but I haven't done it yet. So
Man, YouTube is kicking me out today.
let's see. Ready? 27. Who's closest?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Looks like Silver Shocker.
Yeah, closest
Okay.
without going over.
Yep.
Okay. I'm sending my here's my email. Send me an email. I'll get that out to you on Tuesday.
Very cool.
Cool beans. All right,
Congrats.
everybody. I said it before. You guys, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you joining. Thanks for the discussion. I'm looking forward to doing a lot more work with you guys in 23. So appreciate you guys.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for having me on, man. Happy New Year, Matt. Happy New Year, Frostbite. Happy New Year to everybody watching. Appreciate you guys.
Yep, I appreciate you guys. And I said it before, I'll say it again. If you guys go out and you drink tonight, lose your keys.
I did that yesterday.
Okay. Just be safe.
All right. Thank you. Have a good
All right,
night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one. See you later.